the store on your way home.
Way home from what?
Work?
I work from
He
home.
what? Where the
Don't you
fuck have
go
you been,
out
Stein, for the
No.
last,
work
like,
sometimes?
8 months?
Yeah, they occasionally send me to an on-site, yeah.
Yeah, you do on
But,
sites.
like, once every 3 or so months.
Do you not go out to get groceries? What
No, I
about
have
your
that
toilet
delivered.
paper? You just have it.
Delivered.
You fucking. We're talking to a shut-in here. Okay.
Finding this out
He's a
now?
Bro, no,
More
he's
of
not
a
a
shut-in
NEET.
than me.
I was a NEET.
You're right.
He's employed.
You're
Yeah,
right.
he's employed.
You're
He's
right.
not
I
a NEET. He's a
apologize.
hiki.
Sneaky is gainfully employed. That was incorrect of me.
He is a hiki, not a NEET.
But
Yes.
I don't know why Sign's saying that like it's surprising. I'm pretty sure half this chat would be shut-ins if they could get away with it.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. They just don't deliver out here for me. That it's way too expensive.
Yeah, but see, I don't actually have other expenses. Right? So, like, I'm not addicted to tobacco. So, like, 1 box of cigars lasts me the entire year. I'm not addicted to alcohol.
Right?
So, like, I can, drink, like, a bottle once every month. Which, okay, so that basically makes the charge $1 a day. Basically nothing.
Well, to be fair, you haven't...
Huh?
Yeah, well, yeah, you're drinking like 1 to 2 times every week.
No, I mean, like, last time I drank was 3 weeks ago when I released the chapter for Undying Scarab. That was like 3 weeks ago.
Yes.
You mean when you got sloshed so you could lubricate writing that chapter?
Yes.
Sneaky, someone in the chat, the only thing stopping all of us from being full shut-ins is the need for money. I mean, they're not wrong.
Yeah,
God,
I mean,
if I could work
correct.
from home, I would.
Yeah, absolutely correct.
Well,
that and infrastructure.
I don't have a gambling issue. I don't collect miniatures because I live in an apartment. I don't collect comic books. I don't watch streamers, so I watch videos of streamers, but I don't like actively watch the streamer, so I'm never donating money. I don't play free-to-play games, so I'm never spending money on any gacha shit. I play Azure Lane, but I have a robot do that for me. I don't have other charges. Like my bank account builds up a lot of money from what my job is, for what I'm getting paid for where I live. My bank account builds up a lot of money over time just because I don't spend it on anything. Because honestly, all I need to do to be entertained at the end of the day is I go to a website called Fanfiction.net and I browse by new, and then I pick whatever seems interesting.
Fair.
And that's free.
Yeah.
So...
I used to spend quite a bit of money on books. I still spend quite a bit of money on books because I like supporting published authors. But the magic of things like Royal Road and Fanfiction.net have been saving me a lot of money as well.
Well, I mean, I used to spend a lot of money on books as well. It's a current feud between me and my stepmother. She keeps giving me book gift cards to Barnes and Noble now, after she made me throw away 15 years of books.
Oh my god.
Oh.
Because she insisted that they were moving soon.
She didn't even let you like take them to local libraries and be like, here, maybe some of this can go on your shelf.
No,
Like, just
okay.
chuck it.
No, well, okay. When I say throw away, I mean, yes, there was a trash bin, but that's where I put like my Game Informer issues.
Okay.
But no, like all the books got donated to like my grandmother's local library. But
okay, that's not that bad then. Like, at least
still...
they'll go to someone.
Sneaky is
Oh,
living.
she still made you
Pirates
get rid of
offers
them.
financial advice. Yeah, she still made me get rid of them because she knows that I'm currently living in an apartment and I'm planning on moving, and I don't have a permanent base yet. So I don't like to have other shit with me. If I don't need it, I don't like to have it.
Books are heavy too.
Well, yeah, they're
They take up a
heavy.
lot
They
of
take up
space.
space. I have to have a bookshelf for them now, and then, like, it's a to quote Reacher, it starts with one thing and then ends with you owning a house, being in debt. And quite frankly, I don't want to buy a house in this market. I'm gonna wait for 2025 when the whole thing fucking collapses.
Yeah, I mean, to
Probably
be
the best
clear,
idea.
that's the only way pretty much any of us are getting a house.
Don't
Like,
outgrow your tank.
well,
market crash or
I mean,
inheritance. That's our options.
As I was about to say, I know I'm set for my inheritance at least. So
Yeah.
Mm.
No.
I'm at
I
that
might
point
have to
where it's
fix
like,
mine up.
mine's just like I might not need.
The
I
fuck?
probably shouldn't bother trying
Already.
to acquire a house, regardless of what kind of job I end up with in the future, because I've got a nice
shit.
plot of land coming my way eventually.
Thank you very kindly.
Well,
Oh well,
the
what
problem with that
son?
is, all right. So you live in an apartment?
Who you talking to?
You?
No, dude, I live with my parents.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, if you live in an
Yeah.
apartment,
In
that's
in
anywhere
exchange,
from
I pull
600
in
to
exchange.
500.
Yeah, no, dude. I'm freelancing for my dad's company. I live with my parents. In exchange, I handle most of the heavy lifting around the house. So it's not bad.
Oh yeah, you're
Better than
set.
it's better than some people I know where it's like, oh yeah, my parents are making me pay rent. It's like, wow, that sucks. I
My
couldn't
parents are
imagine
making
my
me pay rent
parents.
too, and I did it without complaint. And then they kicked me out. Well, my stepmother kicked me out.
Well, yeah, because you weren't complaining. See,
Mhm.
the problem is your stepmother is the kind of person, we've had this talk before, Sneaky, and we'll have it again, I'm sure in the future.
Oh yeah.
She wants the best of both worlds, not realizing that the best of both worlds can't exist. You can't have him pay rent and then expect him to do chores around the house. That's not how renter agreements work. When you rent,
Nope.
this is your space. No one touches it. If you go digging through it, I can now call the cops on you. And I don't do chores around the house. That is your job as the landlord.
Well,
You need that door
ultimately,
repaired?
you
That's your job.
do take care of your own chores. Like if
Oh,
you make
obviously I
dishes,
take
you
care of
take
my
care of
own
your
shit.
Oh
dishes.
no,
Yeah.
absolutely. The problem is that she was expecting him to take care of the other parts of the house that
She
he
was
wasn't renting
expecting
out.
me to do 2 hours of labor outside every day, chopping and moving wood, cutting down trees, mowing the lawn, raking leaves, lifting rocks and putting them
Yeah,
places.
fuck that.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
I was like,
especially
look,
because
I'm
here's
already
the thing.
paying you $700 to fucking live here in a place that my father owns.
Oh shit, yeah. I mean, dude, you even if there wasn't a formal agreement, you absolutely could have sued the shit out of them because you are absolutely paying rent and absolutely have tenancy. Like
You have renters' rights.
the US is shitty about a lot of stuff, but like part of it is people, and to be clear, I don't blame Sneaky for this. The school system is not educating people in the way it should. Even leaving aside the fact that, literacy rates are falling and math is falling and blah blah blah. Like, of all
Yeah.
the things that they should be teaching you, like, no, they don't need to teach me how to balance a checkbook anymore. But they absolutely need to teach kids about investing. They absolutely need to teach them about.
No,
They don't need
I
to
think
teach me
they
to
should
balance a
still
checkbook,
teach.
but they definitely need to teach you how to balance a bank account.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
no,
bank
that's the
account.
thing. They should still be doing that because balancing the checkbook was balancing your bank account. Like,
But
here's
no
the
one
thing.
uses checks anymore.
It's
Yes,
okay, but here's the thing.
but
And
he's
this is
right.
maybe it's anecdotal on my part. Teaching people through pen and paper makes it stick better.
Hmm?
And
Oh, it
because your
does.
checkbook is inevitably an extension of your bank account, it's going to stick a little better.
Yeah,
The
but
kid's like, well, I won't have checks with that. Okay, it doesn't matter. You know how to balance your bank account now because that's what balancing the checkbook was.
yeah, but the problem is that you need to sell it to the kid as well. And if you say balance your checkbook to a kid, the kid's gonna be like, "What the fuck would I
What's
need
a
to do that?"
checkbook?
It's a checkbook.
Yeah, they're
No
gonna
one
look at
uses
you and
checks.
either not know what it is or go, "Why are you trying to teach me about something that doesn't exist and is old and stupid?"
It's like trying to say, like,
Oh,
it's
no,
like
it
trying to
still
teach someone
exists.
fucking cursive. I know it still exists. It's like cursive. Still technically exists. If you try and teach someone who is young about it, they're gonna look at you and be like, "Why do I need to learn cursive?"
Like, you have to
So you can
go
write a
out
letter
of
to
your way to
someone.
get
Why would I
checks
write a
these
letter to
days.
someone? I'll just text them.
Yeah.
So
Send them an email.
yeah, exactly. Like the excuse to us adults with developed brains and an above 100 IQ, it makes sense. To kids who are fucking stupid, even when they do have above 100 IQ, it doesn't make sense, and you're never going to be able to explain it to them in a large enough fashion. Sure, maybe if you explain it to them, you'll get maybe, 3 of the 30 kids to pay attention. But the goal is to get all 30 kids to try to pay attention. And talking about checks and balancing checks, that just doesn't work. They're not
While a
interested.
large number of those children are themselves causing a distraction in the class.
Yeah, especially them.
Yes.
I mean, you could certainly make interesting games using checks as a basis where, like, you hand out Monopoly money and everyone has to, like, play this, like, game of life or something like that. Like, each day the
Yeah.
teacher gives
Oh,
you
that-
$10 and then the teacher will come
that
up with an
would-
event and you have to choose something. And at the end of the month, you have to do this. And then you have to write a report at the midpoint of the year about what you learned and about what things were hard or whatever.
I mean, that was a thing for me in elementary school. We took 1 month. Everyone was
Not
given
everything needs to be a
actual
game.
when they're young, it kind of helps.
Yeah.
It's about
look,
grabbing
I
attention.
learned more Latin and Greek myths from Age of Mythology than I did from my Greek myths and Latin class.
Yes.
You have
Yeah.
Greek
Making it
myths
a
and Latin
game
classes?
Yes.
with younger kids is a great way to get them started with an interest in the thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's like I've always been a kinesthetic learner. I learn by doing. I do my best work by just practicing the thing immediately. So like we did a market day in
Hello, LeMay.
elementary school once. Everyone's given, here's your paper money. Here are the prices. Figure out what you want to sell, and
Right.
you can use the money to buy the supplies from your teacher, or make the money by maybe bringing some stuff from home with permission from the teacher. Because obviously you don't want kids bringing in, like, I don't know, the family silverware for some reason.
Right.
Yeah.
And it stuck. It was probably the best explanation for a bunch of second graders as to how the fuck the economy works and how supply and demand work.
At least how they're supposed to. What they should actually do is give you not enough money and prices are too high, and then halfway through they'll raise all of the prices to screw up your budget, and then they'll randomly lay off a third of them.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
and
then
then
they'll
they
start
have to
handing
come
you
in
the
and have
this
to
was
demand like a third of your money.
Okay, this was elementary school, the same age period where we're told that Martha Washington was the one who sewed the first U.S. flag.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
See, that's what they should have done for us in high school at the same time that my AP US history teacher
Yeah.
was explaining that that was a lie made up by descendants of Martha Washington because they were a bunch of little ingrates.
Yeah.
Ingrates or immigrants?
Ingrates,
Ingrates.
sorry.
Okay.
That was the southern slurring things a bit.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was going to be a southern
couldn't
slur
tell.
or a southern slurring.
It's the second one. It's the slurring, not the slur. In this case.
But
I think the worst, I'm pretty sure the worst thing I say is when I occasionally call you guys Yanks.
yeah, but we wore that badge with pride, so doesn't really work. But anyway, yeah, I mean, it's bad. It's fucking bad. It's stupid. People are stupid. But no, I mean, it's wild though, right? Like, you guys heard about the League of Legends skin, right?
No.
Okay.
The
League of
$500
Legends-
one.
Yeah.
I heard it was $500. I don't
Yes.
know what else went down aside
I'm sorry,
from
can you
why
link
the
that bullshit
fuck
to
would they
me?
be that stupid.
Okay, so basically
Excuse
what
me?
it was...
$500?
Yeah, so what it was a
Yeah.
commemorative skin for the biggest, best League of Legends player ever. Like, Hall of Fame, #1 player. He did some wild tournament where he ended up getting the #1 slot in. So he's the bestest player ever, right? Okay. He was famous for playing Ahri. So they released an Ahri skin. That's $500.
Yeah.
And, wow, he got like a fifth of the profits. They advertised it as him getting some of the profits. They didn't tell people it was only a fifth.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, to be clear, Valve also does this, but it's 1/3 of the profits, and they also only sell the skins for $20 to $30.
Yeah, I mean, I want to be clear. The most expensive skins in Dota cost you $50. And those generally come with a completely new character model,
New model,
a minimum
new profile,
a minimum
new
of
voice
2
lines.
custom particle effects,
Yeah.
and unique voice lines.
Okay, but what kind of
and,
retard would actually spend $500 on a fucking digital skin?
Well, I'm
Oh, I
about
don't
to
know.
make you
Like,
depressed.
no advantages.
I'm about to make you depressed. Okay, so by the way, also the skin was dog shit, and we're talking like it was like a purple skin in Dota terms.
Oh, so we're not even talking like BZZ Pugna?
No, we're talking like purple skin with like one special effect.
Fucking League morons.
Yeah.
Oh,
So I'm about to
You know,
make you all depressed.
I haven't even seen this skin. I need to
So
see this skin.
yeah, so basically what went down,
Google,
right,
you're not helping.
was
Yeah, I
There
tried
is a
looking it up. I just got a
website.
bunch of people mad.
yeah, there is a website that sells riot points, which is how you buy the skin, which is how people have determined that it's $500 because the amount of riot points you could take to buy it with your credit card was $500. So you could technically buy the skin by playing the game for free. However, $500 worth of riot points is insane. Ludicrous. Like, we're
Tens of
talking
it
about,
thousands.
like,
take you years to farm that many.
yes, quite literally years. And by the way, it gets even better. This is a limited time offer.
Oh my god.
And let me guess, your rat points expire or don't roll over or some shit?
Oh, no, they don't expire. You just, it takes
Well, at least
literally
they don't
years
pull
to
that
get that many. Win games for years to get that much money.
Okay, you know what? That's actually not a bad design for the
That's not bad.
character, but
Oh,
I
it's
think
not a
the
bad
ori-
design.
I think the OG design is a lot better than that, though. However, I found
That's it?
good news,
Yeah,
boys.
that's it.
Found a PC Gamer article that interviewed the game director.
Right. So, anyway, what I'm saying, there is a website that sells these points. So basically what they do is they have people and countries that have really garbage tier currencies. They go and buy these points and then are paid for those points to be transferred to other people. And then they sell you those points for cheaper because they bought it for cheaper. They had a guy who was the head of marketing who went on to Twitter and asked people to please stop taking out loans to buy this.
God.
Loans.
1 in 2 people buying this skin were taking out loans to purchase it.
Jesus.
Wow.
You guys have got to remember that League of Legends in particular is the ultimate Skinner box. Maybe some gacha games are worse, but
No,
League-
every gotcha game is like definitively worse. Like,
Oh,
don't get me wrong,
it's
League is
absolutely
bad.
worse.
I would say though the difference is that most gacha games don't have the same built-up near cult of personality that League does.
Oh no, you're
No, but they sell
Brother.
sex.
I'm
Fake-
sorry.
Yeah, brother.
I'm
Fate Grand
sorry.
Order,
Arc
Fire Emblem
Knights.
Heroes, Arc Knights, whatever the boat one is that Sneaky plays.
Azure Lane.
Azure Lane.
Azure Lane.
Yeah.
Okay.
Blue
Well, I
Archive.
guess I'm just totally
Blue Archive,
uninformed
I
on
don't like
gacha
it,
games.
but like,
Yeah. What League has over them is League has a probably significantly higher consistent player base.
Mhm.
Now, I will say,
But otherwise,
the difference here and why Genshin Impact is walking away with a 1 billion net profit versus League's not 1 billion net profit is that gacha games do sell characters which are objectively better than other characters for money.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's gambling.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's gambling.
Well,
They have the
I guess I'm
gambling
just-
thing down to a T on that.
I guess I'm just uninformed on gacha games. I usually spend $10 once a year on Fate Grand Order, just as kind of a way of thank you for being my bathroom game.
yeah. And
Well, I
that's,
mean, that's
I want to be
basically
clear.
like so. Atin, I have bought all of the arcanes, that's what they're called, the legendary skins in Dota 2. Now you might be saying, Sneaky, isn't that a lot of money? Yes, I've spent several $100s on Dota 2. So, well, actually, we're well into like the thousands. But counterpoint, I have currently, as of this time, 6,500 hours in Dota 2.
So you're getting your money's worth.
I have
Yeah, I
put
was-
an
That is-
excessive amount of hours into Dota 2.
that is underselling. That is understating the
I
money.
have a lot of
there,
I have
my
not-
good sir.
I am in the hundreds. I am in the hundreds of dollars on Dota. I have not put in as much time as Sneaky, but I have put in just shy of 5,000 hours. Right? I have spent an immense amount of time playing that game.
Yeah.
So spending hundreds of dollars on it is, I mean, well, to be clear, spending money on any video game is unnecessary. And anyone who does it is
besides
technically
buying
wasting
it.
their money. No, even buying a video game is technically a waste of your money. You don't need it. Like, no, I want to be clear.
Especially if you
If
can
someone's
get
going to
it
be
for
that
free.
pedantic, they're welcome to be that pedantic. But the
Oh.
amount of time that I have spent playing Dota 2 versus the amount of money I've put into the game is very, very small. Like, I'm getting an excellent dollar to return ratio. I know that I'm under 1,000, right? So at minimum, it's 999. Right, or at the most, it's 999. So let's call it 5,000 hours.
Right.
That is $5 an hour to play the game, basically. Anyway, but yeah, so getting off of Dota 2, right? The problem with, right, and I know this, I went to video game design school. I did not end up graduating because of issues with the school, but I took 2 years of game design.
Right.
I took the business side of game design, right? The fact is, people like myself, like Sneaky, like Sign, like really everyone in this chat, like everybody in this chat, Max, Al, the rest of us, right? Look, we're the weird people for gacha games. We spend a reasonable amount of money on those games. Most of the people who play gacha games either almost never put in money or they're whales, right? This is a known statistic. 90%, I don't remember if it's 80 or 90, but at minimum of 80% of a gacha game's money will come from 10% of the players. And those are called whales. And those are the people that are dumping in thousands of hundreds of millions
It's
of
actually
dollars
worse.
collectively.
It's 80% from 2%.
80. Oh Jesus! When the hell did it get to 2%?
Oof.
Oh, dude, no, it's been at 2% for a while.
Some of that is slightly artificial, though, right? Because aren't there like streamers who will spend like $100,000?
No, that's
Okay.
not artificial. That's still
There are
money that they're
streamers that
getting.
do that.
Yeah,
But
to be
that
clear.
doesn't make it artificial, though.
Statistic itself, that it represents a distortion, or is it literally just it's
No,
basically
no,
here's the
it's
thing.
money. That's money in. Period.
Yeah.
To be clear, yes, there are streamers that spend lots of money, but for every, call it 100 streamers that are doing that, right? What's the player population for Fate Grand Order?
Hell if I know.
Hold on.
I would probably say in the hundreds of thousands.
But
Player
no,
count.
not as big as it used to be. There was a real
Okay.
they fucked up and lost like 40% of their player base almost overnight, like 2 or 3 years ago in JP.
Damn.
And that's about to hit here in A.
Why is that?
Oh, lots of slap in the faces to the player base in terms of game content difficulty and shit.
Okay, so I'm just gonna go with the only thing I've got a confirmed date for here is from February 2021. 57 million people played that game.
Jesus.
I would assume 10% of those are reroll accounts, though.
Okay, but even then,
you
you have
got to think that market in
still
Korea,
50 million.
Japan, North
million
America,
people playing that game.
Brazil.
The vast majority of the people playing that game are not streamers. Some of them are doing rerolls, sure, but a lot of them aren't. A lot of people are just playing that game. Like,
no, that's what I was trying to ask Maxwell, but I think he must understood that. I was asking, like, what is the proportion of people who are actually, like, I guess, addicted to it versus people who are almost crowdfunding those massive
that's going to depend. Like, is it 57 million total players? 57 million concurrent players? Is it 57 million
Max,
people that have played in the span of 2 months?
57. It just said 57 million players.
Wait, is this
the monthly active users was 1.26 million? There we go.
Yeah. Okay. There you go. So
Japan exclusive.
Concurrent players 1.62 million. Probably 200,000 people in the JP side that are keeping that game afloat.
Yeah, like that's it.
Yeah, it happens, son. I hate to admit it. I probably sunk a couple thousand into a game I was super hyped for, and then they fucked everything up, and I was like, great, never making this mistake again.
What was the mistake? Like, I don't give a crap about
that. Now, Sign does bring up a good point, but he doesn't. But it's not exactly being applied the way he thinks it is. So basically, these Saudi oil princes, they find their favorite niche game that they can whale in and win, and then they whale into it, and that's what a lot of the games on the App Store now are turning into. Is they are attempts to bait the oil prince effectively. They're hunting for the white whale.
Pretty much.
Because these people would dump like 40K a day or more.
Oh god.
Oh yeah, no. There's one guy. There's every time the Dota 2 Battle Pass comes out, there's a Saudi oil prince who drops. I don't know. Sneaky, does he buy himself to level 10,000 in the Battle Pass?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't
And
even think he
I
plays the
forget-
game anymore.
No.
I forget what the exact dollar a level is, but he is literally dumping thousands of dollars into Dota 2.
It's about
yeah,
$30
okay.
for
Well,
100 levels.
Sign just lost a little bit of my sympathy with
He went
that
to
reveal
Genshin.
from Aura.
Yeah.
He did a non-guaranteed banner. What the fuck is wrong with you, dude? Nah, the fuck up for the game I'm talking about was for Grand Chase Mobile, and the fuck up was that within 9 months of the game's release, we already had units being power crept,
Ooh.
and we had 4 ways of leveling things up,
Ooh.
starting from 2, and it hadn't
Ooh.
even been a full year yet.
Ooh.
And I was like, great.
Yeah.
You guys are going to kill this like you did the last game, and it's going to be fucking awful, and I'm not sticking around for this.
Are there companies that pay streamers to do pay content? Like, here's $5,000, use it in our store? I know
Yes.
Bossman Jack is given money to Gamble and Kick, but he always goes over. Okay, so I'll address both of those. So, because I know a lot about this shit, because I watch both Tectone and Asmongold, and that's half the shit they talk about.
I wonder why that would be for Tectone.
Right.
Definitely doesn't have a reputation among several gacha communities at this point.
You've
Pretty
never
sure.
done gacha before, and you didn't look into it. Congratulations, Sign. You're a normie.
Yeah.
Sign.
Did a very
I'm
normie
sorry,
thing.
Sign. Did you just admit to not understanding what a slot machine is?
Bro blindly
At
gambled.
your age?
Yeah. Bro just blindly gambled.
Yeah, I blindly
Bro
gambled.
took $1,000 and
Oh.
fed it into a shredder.
All right, so my thing was, I picked up the game, I looked at it, I go, oh, so you can buy or pay money to try to buy these things, but you don't have to. All right, fine, I'll just play the game. And then I see the banners pop up for all the new characters you could get, but you can't get the base game. Oh no, absolutely not. So fuck, okay, well, I really want that character, so let's roll for it. Ching, ching, ching. Shit.
But that's just it, right? Right. It is, to be clear, Sign is dumb, but part of it
I
is
did a
on the
dumb.
part of it is on the game design, right? It is a
Yeah,
to be
it's a
clear,
Skinner box.
it is
Okay, well, this
highly
is
predatory.
why. This is why if I ever play a Genshin-like gacha game, it's probably going to be Azure Promilia, because that's made by the Azure Lane people, and Azure Lane has been very generous. It's a 7% drop rate for all of the new characters on their new banner. There is a guarantee drop after 200 pulls. They're very generous with their pull currency. They're like so generous that by just running the game and doing my dailies every single day, like I'm not running like some sort of farm event or anything. I am literally just doing my dailies every day. I have enough to do like 400 pulls
No, that doesn't sound
right
bad
now,
at all.
just by signing and doing my
Sign.
dailies.
Don't sign. Don't let
And
it get
on
you, man.
top of all of that, you know what they
I'm
do that
resistant.
basically no one else does? They rerun banners
Let you re-roll.
every single year. In fact, some banners are now just permanent.
Yeah. No, honestly,
Oh, that's nice.
that kind of design is
The only other game I've seen
enjoyable.
do that was Grand Blue. But Grand Blue had the issue where Grand Blue is dedicated to rerunning every event as well.
Yep.
So it got to the point where like, all right, guys, here's 4 events being run at the same time. What? By the way, 5 and 6 are on the way in a week. It's like, can we chill for a second?
Yeah, basically what they do is any minor event, they'll rerun every event once, and then any minor event gets turned into a permanent event that you can play at any time. And any non-minor event gets turned into a yearly event that doesn't overlap with any other event.
That's so nice.
Oh,
And
I
if you
forgot
already
to
have
ask.
all the rewards, they just give you more money and more oil. The oil is your points per day to run stuff.
Yeah, I'm the
Oh.
person that literally just played GFL and was just like, oh, hey, this is a lot of interesting mechanics that I can work towards.
Yeah.
And
But,
just
also,
just spend a 10.
Just to give the people who don't play gotchas in here an idea, right? Fate Grand Order is one of the most popular games.
Yes.
How much
No,
money
not
do
even
you
slightly
think
Fate
it has?
Grand
How
Order.
much revenue do you think it has generated? It first launched in 2015 in Japan.
It's billions. It was so
Billions.
successful that it's actually altered the
7 billion
Yeah.
since 2015.
Jesus.
it was so successful that it's permanently altered parts of the design philosophy of the Nasuverse.
Not just
Yeah,
naturally,
it's much
like it has
unfortunate.
permanently altered parts of game design, right? It
all right. Yeah.
Gotcha
I
games
believe
now
that.
make up 50% of all mobile game revenue.
of course it
And,
does.
you know, the other 50% is probably Cookie Clicker or something.
The other 50% is probably just
Yeah.
scams.
It's Angry
No,
Birds.
no.
Yeah.
A pretty significant portion of it comes from not gotcha games, but games that are equally as predatory. It will be stuff like
Yeah.
Bejeweled Ultra or whatever, right? That kind of stuff
They
that's
actually
meant for...
sell.
What a day and age we're living in now, where I have to be careful about playing a Bejeweled game.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's even
yeah.
better, Max. You know what they sell
Right.
in Bejeweled? Puzzle
Yeah,
solutions.
they'll
Screen
charge you
clears?
for like continues
Yeah,
and
they,
energy.
they sell screen clears, continues, and puzzle solutions.
Oh,
Why would you buy the
Oh,
solution to
man.
the puzzle if you're playing the puzzle game?
Because I have to get to the
You're
next level.
supposed to solve
Because
it
you
yourself.
don't understand the mentality of normies.
Yeah, my mom plays some of those games. I think it's some game about like matching types of candy or cookies or something.
Candy Crush. That's literally Candy Crush.
Ooh.
Okay, that shows you
Yeah.
how much I know
A
about
Sorry,
it. But
lot
I
of-
know
yeah,
that
a lot of
because
women
they
like their
talked.
matching
It was
games.
in my game design classes.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. Also,
Um,
everyone should know that because they tried to get the trademark on the word candy, and
Yeah, they
they
did.
got
Oh.
fucking slapped down
Limbo.
hard for that.
They got obliterated on that one, yeah.
Just before I dip, it wasn't last time, but the time before that, y'all roasted one of my stories.
Yes.
Huh? Was it too bad?
It was terrible. We all hated it. No, I'm just kidding. We just made fun of you.
listen,
I
it's better
I don't-
than 90% of the direct we get on here.
I don't even think it was the story that was roasted. It was some aspect.
The furry shit.
Yeah, it was an aspect. That
Which
was
one?
roasted.
Well,
What
I don't
story was that
remember.
again?
Yeah, you'll have to find it.
No, wait, wasn't it because he wrote an anime opening for it?
Yeah. No, his partner wrote
Yeah.
an anime opening for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, Wyvern is Brazilian and lives in the part of Brazil that have like Goku posters in the restaurant
Yeah.
walls and stuff.
Yeah.
So he's
Um,
Pedro.
Yeah.
A little bit, but a bit further south.
Yeah.
So no, it's honestly a lot of the stuff he does, especially for me, is keeping me from making things way too super serial and kind of disappearing up my own asshole. He's
Yeah,
good at stopping
it's
me. from
basically
that. But yeah,
Unsigned.
well, I'm glad you guys did at least get a little fun out of it, and I hope I'm better than just 90% of the stuff on Sneaky's show.
Yeah, most of it, yeah.
I would say, you know what? That's fair. It should probably be 99%.
I'll take that.
I would say because you listen. I think we've found what Sneaky 5 stories in the entire time we've been doing. To be clear,
No,
not-
maybe like 10.
Yeah. But yeah, just
Yeah.
a very low amount of stories we found that were not just
of the over 1,600 hours we have been doing this podcast for, we've found about 10 stories.
Well, maybe one day one of mine will belong to that vaunted Hall of Fame. No,
maybe one day you'll stop writing your "I want to be an original author" stories and just write a story we can cover without making fun of it.
I have no idea how to do that, Sneaky.
I am aware.
Serious question then. What would be your advice then? What is the difference between writing an "I want to be an original author" and actually writing proper fan fiction?
There is a limit on fixing. That's what I've always found when it comes to it is, and I mean, I've done this with the Ruby story that Moth paid me to write. I fully acknowledge that this was not going to be a Ruby fan fiction. This was me basically writing an original story with a Ruby dressing on it, because when you fix the ship enough, it's one thing to replace parts with better working parts.
Yeah,
but if you
and all that.
As we're
replace
doing
the
the
hull,
Theseus,
right? But
stuff.
if you start with a wood ship and you replace the hull with a steel frame, and then you replace the cannons with an aircraft carrier launch pad, and you get my drift here. Eventually, it's not the ship of Theseus anymore. It's just a fucking aircraft carrier.
The SSS Theseus.
Yeah, so if you do too much fixing, too much replacing, and yeah, I mean, obviously, when it comes to fan fiction, the authors that tend to write the authors that tend to write don't know a lot about anything. For example, J.K. Rowling believes that a gold coin the size of a hubcap, which in Britain at the time that she was writing the book, for the time period she was writing the book, was approximately the size of your fist. The hubcap was the size of your fist, not the hubcaps that are in America right now that are the length of your arm. Or forearm.
Massive chunk of gold, baby.
It's still a massive chunk of gold and was worth, at the time, roughly $900 in USD.
That's assuming it's not actually pure gold.
No, it is.
If it's pure gold, I mean, they never really made a distinction, but they implied that it was pure gold.
I always assumed it was at most something like 99%, because if it was like magical, molecularly pure gold, then it would be even crazier.
Well, yeah, but still, point being, though, is that those coins she thought was worth $7 British pounds.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an absurd amount of precious materials, which
she has no concept. I mean, you see that with George R. R. Martin and George R. R. Martin is so autistically wrong about so many things when it comes to medieval lifestyle that people have dubbed.
Did you guys actually read his blog?
No,
I've never read his blog.
He word of God said that dragons are stationary, B, only roost in very limited territories, including preferably Old Valyria, or B, Dragonstone. C, they will not predate on fish, are D, obligate carnivores, and are so specifically oriented to not going into the oceans that at most they will only skim the surface level. So he basically created a species of infinitely growing, bigger than, at certain points, building-sized monstrosities.
Yes.
That require hundreds upon hundreds of thousands of calories to operate. And then said, not only are they densely packed as all get out, they are land predators.
Yes.
So
no.
He word of Godded that.
Yeah. Okay. Whatever.
That's fucking dumb.
It's a fantasy creature. He gets to do that. My point
the problem is
I'm talking about medieval life. I'm talking about the time it takes to travel between places. I'm talking about the ability for people to raise levies. I'm talking about armor.
No, I was
about
underscoring that
weapons.
Point because that was his latest blog post, and he specifically lambasts more fantastical animals in like the first half of that. So I was trying to underscore your point that he
Right, okay, I see what you're saying, yeah.
Yeah.
But
he gets
my
caught up
point
in
is that
himself.
he is so autistically wrong about so many things when it comes to the medieval lifestyle that people have dubbed fics that are like his as mud punk. Because they're not even medieval
Yeah.
fantasy. They are they are the medieval version of cyberpunk in how wrong they are about technology.
Yeah, like he builds buildings that are physically impossible, and he creates like the Iron Throne is like, isn't it like 20 or 30 feet high or some shit?
Yeah, it was some stupid shit like that, yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
it's
Well, it's
so
made out of
massive.
like ancient
But-
iron or some.
So
shit.
my point being though is that authors are stupid and they don't know a lot about a lot of things, and they don't usually think too much about the things they don't know.
But this is why you do the fucking research, so you don't sound like a
No,
dumbass, and no one comes
hard.
out
I'm
and goes,
gonna write like I'm
"Dumbass, you've got it
fucking
wrong."
well, no, you just suck dick until your book is popular.
Huh.
I was more talking
no,
about
Tom
GR.
Clancy
But
actually went
my
out and did the
point
fucking
being-
research.
Yeah, I'm aware, and he's a legendary figure in every market possible, but that doesn't change anything about what I'm saying, is that a majority of authors are stupid. If you try and sit there and write a fanfic to fix all of these authors' mistakes by actually doing fucking 10 seconds of research, because, yeah, in Ruby, that's all it took for some of the things that Ruby got wrong, then you're going to end up with a story that isn't the fandom you're writing for. If you try and fix how Naruto operates on an economy, on a social, on a military scale, you're going to end up with a story that isn't Naruto anymore. Same thing for
because
Ruby.
it
Same thing for
breaks
Harry Potter.
things.
Same thing for pretty much every story. I mean, Dresden's a little bit more grounded, but that's only because a lot of the shit was grounded in current day economy things. So
I
they
mean,
couldn't
it's grounded for the
Dresden
first few books.
is very, like, I'm trying to think how to say this. Most of the stuff that happens in Dresden, you can look at and go, yeah, that's believable.
There's
Right.
a high degree of verisimilitude.
So, point being though
It
is when
does
you're
not
writing a
strain
fanfic,
SOP.
yeah, when you're writing a fanfic, don't waste your time on trying to fix the cracks. If the crack is there and it's required you to pave over it so you can write the story you want to write, like if your story is, say, a Ruby story, and the story's premise is that John takes 3 fucking seconds to think about Aura, and then does a whole bunch of crazy wild shit because you thought about Aura for 10 seconds, that's fine if you want to pave over the cracks that are there because of Rooster Teeth's inability to formulate Aura.
Mm-hmm.
But
What if Summer took
Don't
3
take
seconds
the
to think about
time.
what would happen if she fucked off?
right, but don't waste your time trying to fix the economy, trying to fix the cities, trying to fix how the nations work, trying to fix how the wars work, trying to fix the huntsman system, trying to fix the schooling system. Because by the time you've done all that, you've just made an original story, and you might as well just make it an original story at that point.
Yeah, see that's what I was doing in part with Bay, that worm story of mine.
Right, and it's why I make fun of you so much, because you do take the time to do all of those things, and I'm not making fun of you for doing them, I'm making fun of you for doing them, but then still calling it a fan fiction.
I appreciate the honesty, and to be honest, it is good feedback. For me, though, this really is a hobby. My IRL job is entirely separate from this. But
I mean, it was a hobby for Tolkien, and it was a hobby for Tom Clancy, too.
yeah, I get what you're saying. So just at a point, you've got to look at it as a cost versus reward thing. But no, I will say that is one thing I'm actually trying to avoid doing in Reed Degley, the DXD story Kaz
Right.
read for me a while back. I'm just trying to write pure shonen popcorn. Just like the next major fight is literally going to end because the power of perversion and friendship lets a young man summon a dragon gauntlet to punch the monkey demon god in the face, and then almost make his heart explode, and has to be saved because the tragic monk has to use the last of her power to fix his internal organs, because all of a sudden amplifying your powers 100 times over while still being human is not a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair.
And now, Sign does bring this up, and I will reply with this as well. I mean, Giordino and Cambrian and other authors of their caliber, yeah, they do it as a main job now, but that's because it just pays so fucking much. I mean, Cor Alaron's a better example, I suppose. He earned, back in the day at the height of Ruby, Cor Alaron earned about $6,000 a month. And what he would do was he would put out a 3 to 5K word chapter during the height. This is not during his money grubbing downfall. I'm not talking about the silver era. We're talking about the gold era for him. He put out a chapter, I think 3 chapters a week. And he was earning $6,000. And they were around 3 to 5K words long. Sometimes they were like 7K. But,
I think he was actually running 4 to 5 chapters, switching every other week.
During the early days? During the Professor Arc era?
Well, no, like at his height, he was doing, I think, 4 to 5 a week, and each week, two of those chapters would be swapped out for another story. So at any given time, he'd be juggling anywhere from 4 to 6 unique stories.
Okay, so I guess he's not a great example, but still, my point being is that a bro earns $6,000 as a hobby, and he enjoyed doing it because he just enjoys writing. Giordino earns $8,000, and yeah, he does it full time. But like I said, he's earning $8,000, so why wouldn't he do it full time?
Yeah.
Cambrian's earning, I believe, $11K now per month.
God.
I'm not saying you need to monetize your hobby. What I am saying, Beware of Chicken, I guess, is a better example. Dude, what is Beware of Chicken earning these days?
Oh gosh, I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know what his Amazon earnings are, but it's good apparently.
It's gotta be. He's got a 3rd book on the way.
Yeah,
fourth book actually.
Yeah.
Oh wait, the 3rd book just released?
No, he's already completed book 4.
No. The 4th book's already. No, sorry. The 4th book's what he's gonna be releasing. Yeah.
So at most popular, he's got 4,750 paid members, and he's earning $4 from each of them. So this dude is earning $16K a month.
For Beware of Chicken.
For Beware of Chicken. He's earning from Patreon $16K a month. That's not his book sales. That's not anything else. This is just him giving you a chapter early, and then he publishes the book, and people buy that as well. And people have been buying that in such extreme degrees that Amazon's given him a better deal.
Yeah.
People love the series. I mean, it's
to be fair, Beware of Chicken is damn good. I'm aware, but my point in this scenario is that Beware of Chicken didn't start because the author wanted to make a career off of writing. Beware of Chicken started because the author was doing writing as a casual hobby and was reading a lot of wushu stories one day and was like, man, I hate wushu stories. I know. I'm going to go write a wushu story that fixes all of the stupid stuff I hate in wushu stories. And he started posting it, and people really liked it. And now he's earning $16,000 at minimum per month to keep doing it.
Oh no, we know. Yeah, I mean,
Jesus.
we know it's piles more than that because what's Beware on Chicken on Amazon? It's like in a top selling position. Like,
oh yeah,
it's
a top selling
top
position.
Sellers for that section.
Well, thank you, Sneaky. You've given me something to think on tonight. I think I'm gonna call it a night here.
Yeah, just
nice. I mean, right? And I know you're going to bed, right? But just for the other people out there, right? Take this degenerate on here, Sign.
Yeah, Beware Chicken 4's out.
No.
Yeah, yeah,
Four's not out.
Yeah, it is.
Four is
Looking-
wish listed.
But wherever, oh, okay, it is wish listed. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's coming out. I think November 19th. To be clear, I read Beware of Chicken.
$18 for a paperback.
Yeah, but I think most of his sales are going to be digital.
$5, yeah.
But even still, right? That's people who I'm sure a fair chunk of them have already been giving him $5 a month, and then they're tossing him an extra $5.
Right.
I bought
Yeah.
the books because
Yep.
I bought the books because first, when I first heard about the thing, I realized there were books, and I know for a fact that the books are generally a cleaned up version, and they'll have some
Yeah.
art in there. So yeah, he had book 1, he had book 2, and then a couple months later he had book 3. I tossed him money every time because you know what?
Yeah.
It's good.
No, yeah, certainly.
Like, I've
And
already got guaranteed book sales if I ever publish specific things.
it's what I keep trying to tell people who are capable of writing prolifically, like Alvor. Save the fan fiction for the fan fiction realm. If you're going to put a lot of effort into a story, make it an original story, post it online, offer faster chapters on your Patreon, and then, once it's gained enough popularity, just fucking publish it. You got a free audience right there. They've been paying you the entire time to sustain your development of the story. And now you're going to be even more famous once the book starts going out to more people, and then you're going to get more Patreon people, and then you're going to get more money, and then more people are going to buy the book.
Yep. It's
So-
a system that works.
Just don't fuck
Writing
around
can
and spend all your
start-
money, and
Right.
remember to do your taxes.
But and my point though is that writing can start as a hobby, and it can stay as a hobby for a very long time. But just like, say, painting miniatures and getting really good at painting miniatures, you can monetize it. I'm not saying you need to, but if you have the skills, don't do it for free.
Yeah.
Sell that shit on Etsy.
So-
That's a little harder to do.
Yeah, that is a little bit harder to do, but I mean, there is so many ways you can monetize a hobby that still allows you to keep it as a hobby.
Yeah.
And if it becomes popular enough for you and you're not attached to your job, just start doing the hobby then.
You become self-employed.
Yeah. And so I don't like it when people try to excuse pretty much anything by saying, "Oh, well, it's just a hobby of mine." Unless
no, to be
the reason
clear.
unless the reason why what they're saying, the excuse of it's just a hobby of mine, is why aren't you better? Oh, it's just a hobby of mine. Oh, okay. No
I
problem.
would
Well,
say
that's fair. I'm not putting much effort into it.
Yeah.
the
Why aren't you putting more
other
effort into it?
thing-
It's just a hobby. Okay.
The other thing, right, is why aren't you better at this? Right. The other the other thing there that I know is there are some people who explicitly don't want to make money on something, right? Because it's a hobby, right?
Right, no, and I get it, and I'm not saying, that's what I'm saying, like, you don't have to monetize it. But if you say, if you show up at a Warhammer convention with your miniatures, and you start lining them up, and you have, like, a bunch of fucking people crowding around you saying, "Holy shit, dude, your miniatures are so well painted, holy crap. Can I pay you, like, $200 to paint mine?" That is $200 extra.
Well, I mean, that's an
$200
extra
bucks is $200
$200 on the one
dude.
hand. On the other hand, turning a hobby, something you enjoy, into work.
Yeah, but that's what
That you then
we
have
just
to-
said,
But
right?
Make
that's
the
what I'm
deadline
saying, though. But that's what I'm saying, though. Is I'm not. I am making the distinction difference. I'm not saying work to turn your hobby into something you can monetize. I am saying if the monetization lands at your feet, don't turn it away because it's a hobby.
Yeah, that is very fair.
I would say, and that's the thing that a lot of people, right? Everybody today is obsessed with, oh, you gotta have a high side hustle, you gotta make more money. Which, I mean, I get it, right? The economy sucks. A lot of people do need to make more money.
Hmm.
But don't take the thing that you love and try to make money off of it. You will burn out. But like Sneaky said, if it lands in your lap,
Right. Like Richmond North of Richmond. Great song. Dude's never released a single song before this. Dude's never released a single song after this. He's just a decent singer, a decent songwriter, and decent on the banjo. Released a song, had the opportunity to monetize it, did so, and then went back to it being a hobby for him.
Which is fair. He made his money off of that song, though.
Yeah, sure,
And
but
it's
he
still
wasn't
making it.
trying to. He made the song
No.
because he felt that he needed to, but he wasn't aiming to turn it into profit. But then profit came to him and he said, oh, well, yeah, sure. Big
That's
difference.
kind of what happened with me. Is I was writing for free for the longest time, and people started offering, "Hey, will you write this if I pay you?" Well, I mean, if you're gonna throw money at me, fuck it, sure, why not?
And
twist
The
my
other-
arm.
when it comes to writing,
Right?
is that it's very important to stay on the distinction I made here of Cambrian likes writing porn. He just likes writing porn. He just likes writing. He likes writing a lot. He really likes writing porn.
Yep, that's fair. So do I.
I want to make this clear. He
man
released
likes
some new
his
songs.
porn.
Okay. Yeah, I just never saw any of them from him. But I mean, I'm sure they're good, or decent. You know. I have never seen complaints from people about Cambrian stories. How to put this? They aren't the garbage we normally read in terms of the plot structure. Like, he actually has a somewhat decent, competent plot going on. It might be nonsensical, but it's internally consistent to cause the porn to
it
happen.
usually has decent plot, or at least decent plot structure, even if I don't like the plot itself.
Right.
Like his Iron Man story, for instance, right? You could skip all the porn and it's still a good story.
Right.
Yeah.
So he is enjoying that because he just likes writing. But then you have other people like you, Sign. You like writing specific things, even if you don't realize it. You like writing specific things, and your capacity to write in terms of quality increases when you write those specific things compared to other things.
Yeah, true.
And what a lot of people who start getting paid to write fanfics, this is what they don't realize, is that they try to start forcing themselves to write stuff they're not interested in.
Oh, I've had a few of those, and it is
And then they
very
burn
hard
out.
to drum up the interest.
It's hard to drum up the interest from the author. It comes out in their writing and the readers don't like it. They burn out quickly on the story.
I'll be honest, that was the mistake I made with the Halo one, the one for Reach.
Right. And
I just was not interested in it.
Yeah. And you have to keep doing the things you enjoy. And, you know, I'll use Max as an example in this. Max is decent at painting, better than my friend group at least. My friend group has paid Max to paint some of their miniatures. Max has said outright, I'm never going to paint this type of miniature again or with this paint.
That bad.
I just don't like. Specifically, I don't like doing flesh. If you give me an all armored figure, sure. Vehicles, fuck yeah, those are my bread and butter. Being a Gundam fan. You give me this fucking little human.
Yeah.
With an exposed face, get the fuck out of here.
Even when he was painting something that was a little bit larger, but still quite small, it was still a miserable experience. Like, and I get it. I've looked at I have attempted to paint those faces. Fuck that shit.
But
I respect
my
people that can
point,
do it and enjoy it.
right? But my point is that Max isn't trying to burn himself out, even though he's getting paid to paint his friends' miniatures. He's not doing things that are going to burn him out on painting miniatures. He's sticking to things he enjoys doing, even though he's getting paid for it. And that's my point, is even though you have begun to monetize your hobby, you need to stick to the things that you enjoy doing, even though you're getting paid to do it now. Because you are going to burn yourself out otherwise, and you will stop liking your hobby otherwise.
Well, this is why I have a rotation, and I take so many different commissions, specifically.
Rotation
so
my
I can
fucking
rotate
ass
through
sign.
things.
Yeah.
Come
No.
on, don't give us this rotation
No one
shit
believes
sign.
you.
Sign.
You know what I
sit
mean.
down and you have weeks, okay? You don't have a daily rotation. You don't have a weekly rotation. You have a monthly rotation where you become hyper focused on one story in particular, and you just write like 27 chapters for it, and no one's even paid you.
There are times that happens,
Sign,
yes.
You could have said you had a rotation in the schedule. I would have believed you, but the minute you brought up your commissions, you lost all sense of being able to be
Even
trusted.
Even
Okay.
Dick.
Listen,
To reel this
But
back
no, that's
in,
like with the Tanya stuff here recently.
Yeah.
Just,
Yeah,
it
you doing good?
flows.
yeah, you do good at it. You like it? Yeah. Okay. So here it is. Yeah. Let me say. I said I would cover this earlier. Because fan fiction's fucking dead. Shocker, guys. Yeah, fan fiction is just fucked. We can't pull up any stories.
really?
What, FFN
Yeah,
is
no,
dead?
it's just fucked. I can't search for stories. Yeah,
It's still working on
Oh,
still
okay.
working on mobile.
Page 4 is fine. Never mind. Page 4 is fine.
How is
yeah,
page
and
4?
Oh, whoa, that is
and
broke.
it's working on mobile for some reason as well. Still,
Yeah.
not the app, but the actual website.
Well, the whole website works normally until you get
Oh, no,
into
never
the
mind.
actual fan fiction, and then
Yeah,
you have to
until
go
you
to
get
page
into
4.
Yeah, no, and until you get into an
Oh,
actual
never mind.
category.
Page 4 is also
it's fucked.
broken.
Well, damn.
What if we go to like page 10? Oh, page 10's fine.
Oh, they may be doing the
For
purge.
now. Yeah,
Oh.
possibly. Yeah, they're purging shit that went against GoDaddy's domain, shit that was posted.
Oh, they already did that because they moved
Oh,
domains.
I thought they were doing more.
No.
I thought they were gonna
Well,
do
if they
more for
did
the
more,
new
that'd be
domain.
great. But no.
Yeah, I thought they were going to
whatever.
purge more because the new domain has also standards. Unlike
Oh,
standards.
is that true? Can you fucking link that? Because that'd be hilarious. Anyway, so yeah, while he's doing that, so LeMay said, there are companies that do pay streamers to use their paid content for gacha streamers. Like, here's $5,000, come spend it in our gacha store. Yes, but no. So they pay the streamer a flat rate to cover the game, and then they also pay the streamer afterwards a bonus rate based on the number of people that they brought into the game. Now, they can do this two ways. It's not always just gacha games. You know, World of Tanks does this, for example, as well. They do these sort of things two ways. In way one, they just pay them the flat rates, they play the game, and you just play the game, and you get, X number of people, and then they pay you extra. The second way is that they give you a developer account and say, do an expose of our game where you have like all of the best heroes, or like you have 999 free pulls, or various other cheat stuff just to show off the game mechanics and the game itself.
And to be clear, the streamers lose those accounts when they're done.
Yes.
Like, I need to stress that. Like, right, when you see the streamer go in and go, yeah, I did the super ultra pull, and I pulled 999 times. They didn't spend their own money on that, and the developer didn't lose any money on that. They just went in and they made developer account number 444, and gave it $999 worth of currency.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, and then they said Trickster was kind of annoying with their stores. You could beat the game. The drop rates for items are really low. It could take you hours. Yeah, it's why I don't fuck with that sort of shit. I just generally don't like games that have a convenience option as a payment plan. Because any game that has conveniences built into the payments are inevitably going to be structured in such a way that make the game unplayable without buying those conveniences.
Of course they are.
I'd
because
rather
they want
them
you to buy
just sell
them.
me the game. Like, just make me buy the fucking game.
Like the gacha games where you have to pay to roll the characters. I would rather just either pay for the game and get the characters or pay for the individual characters.
Right.
Stop trying to make me gamble a whole bunch of money to get these characters.
But they're not going to do that
Just release it on
because
a
they're
DLC.
going to make you like I understand
Because they
what you're
want to
saying.
make more money, I know.
Yes,
And the
but
fact is, Sign, some of those gacha games you do only need to spend buy the characters because you can spend a certain amount. Like Genshin's pity system is actually probably one of the fucking best right now because you can just
Now
pay.
it is.
Because if you don't if you don't get an on banner character, you get your next you get like 50% chance to get one or something like that, or is
75.
it after a certain amount of rolls?
yeah, but here's the
75.
problem. That's still a banner character, right?
Yes.
If the
You
banner
can still
has
lose the banner.
4 characters.
Yeah.
Yep.
You could end up with
And you can get multiple copies of the same one, which just makes that
which
one
is usually
character
needed.
stronger.
Which is basically what you need for if you want to solo with a character.
Right, but that's
basically
why I
Ben
don't
Solo.
like those sorts of games at all. Any sort of game that requires action on my part to roll some sort of gambling mechanic, so I can somehow get a 20% increase to my attack damage. That's fucking gay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it doesn't just do that,
So,
Sneaky. It locks entire
mm.
ability trees behind that.
Well, I'm aware. My point is
Yeah.
that those ability trees ultimately culminate in 20% damage buff, 100%
Or something
damage
like
buff. Some you use this one ability, it does like half the cooldown and 300% extra damage.
Or ruin the character. There is
Yeah, or
actually one
ruins it,
case
yeah.
where if you get a character too high up, you unlock too much of their graph in Genshin, all their attacks become pyro and they actually become worse because they're not as good. Their special isn't as good.
Yeah.
Like so far, Capcom is the only company I've seen where they had a gacha game. It reached into service. They're like, all right, cool. $25. Here's the full game, and you could just earn the characters.
My
In-game
favorite
actually.
was in Azure
that-
Lane.
That was Mega Man Cross Dive.
In Azure Lane, they actually did this, where for a long time, a farming method was to use 1-stars who were of gray proportion or some shit like that. Basically, using really
rarity.
low rank characters that weren't upgraded because that used less AP to run them. And that was the way to maximize your efficiency because you had to do X amount of runs to get these certain parts. And so Azure Lane saw this and said, okay, well, we're just going to remove that mechanic then. And they just completely removed the ships costing more AP to roll out the higher level they were and the higher rank they were.
Yeah.
They said fuck it and just brought it all down. There's like, no, this is too much. People are not playing the game the way we want them to. We want them
They're
to
not
level
going
up
for the
characters. We
They're
want
not-
them
yeah.
to, we want them to actually play the characters they want to play with the levels we want them to be at, not artificially
the
give
lowest ones
themselves
that they can,
so they
yeah.
can efficiency it. Yeah. And so like, it's like, oh, that's kind of cool actually.
Yeah.
That is kind of cool.
Bossman Jack was given money to gamble on Kick. Yes, they are given money. Yeah, so this is a very popular thing. So Stake owns Kick. Stake is a gambling company. For a very long time, they were paying people to do this on Twitch. But yes, they are given a certain, sometimes not always openly given, amount of money to spend on the gambling. and then they get to keep the rewards after if they go over the amount. So like basically they have to spend 40K during this stream, but if they win 40K, they get to keep the 40K. If they win more than 40K, they get to keep more than that. But oftentimes, because it's fucking gambling and you're doing it on a digital platform like a dipshit, anyone that does digital gambling, just send your money to me. And you have a 1 in 3 chance of getting something if you send your money to me. I'll make it even easier for you, okay?
What do we get?
Nothing. I'll never send you anything, but you have a 1 in 3 chance of getting something.
Well, you have a 1 in 3 chance of getting nothing. Okay.
No. I'll
No.
If you get the 1 in 3 chance, I'll definitely send you something, but I'm never gonna send you anything.
Because it's never gonna get that 1 in 3 chance.
You're never gonna get the 1 in 3 chance. Yeah, I'll just not roll the dice. Yeah. You won't know. I'll just send you a picture of a 1 every time. Like, that is what you're doing when you digitally gamble, okay? Like, I just want to make that clear. That is what you do when you digitally gamble. They control what cards show up. They control what slots fall down. They control where the ball goes. If you're gonna gamble responsibly and do it in person like a real fucking human, because at least there, the games are only rigged in the house's favor by sheer chance.
Well, no, sheer chance plus tuning the machines plus
oh no, that's
the
illegal.
Dealers shuffling certain ways.
Nope, that's illegal. They don't do that anymore. No, well, that's only back alley shit, dude. Like actual casinos.
Oh yeah, actual casinos are crazy regulated.
No, actual casinos, like the roulette wheel has to spin at a certain speed.
You can't go faster, you can't go slower, otherwise it doesn't count, and you can't be
what they did was they put bumps into the roulette wheel to prevent people from mathematically guessing where the ball is going to land.
Yep.
With blackjack, they have a machine that shuffles, and usually casinos these days do 3 or 6 decks. And this is so you can't count cards, and so the dealer is not involved in the cards being shuffled.
Yep.
Oh, the dealer
which means
shuffles.
And
no, the dealer never shuffles.
And he can change the deck so you don't know what order it is, because by the next time that same deck's used, it's reshuffled.
Yeah.
Oh no! They just slap 6 decks into the machine and it goes.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's not just one deck being played and then another deck being played. It's quite literally there is like 150 cards in play at any time.
Wait, hang on. You play against 150 cards in play, not just a single deck?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's bullshit.
No.
No,
actually, no. Well,
okay, first
no,
of all,
it's not.
moron. The entire spirit of the game is the casino is bilking you to make money.
Well, actually, no. So if you are going to gamble blackjack, the reason why I say gamble blackjack is because actually, when it comes down to it, at the end of the day, you have a 49.5% chance to win at blackjack.
Well, that's not bad.
Yeah. So if you gamble long enough, you will always lose. The house will always win. However, with blackjack, if you stop when you win, you actually get to walk away with money.
With profit,
I've done that before. Several thousands of dollars.
Poker against actual people would probably be better.
You don't play poker against the house, dipshit.
Not against the house.
Hold on a minute. How the fuck do you think you play poker?
The house has a 0% chance of winning poker because they don't play.
Yeah. The chips are other people's money that they put into the house. What you're grabbing isn't the house's money, unlike with blackjack.
You're taking other people's money, yes.
Unlike with blackjack. So you may as well just not be at a casino.
Right, but poker isn't a fucking gamble. It's actually skill.
It is. It's mainly a skill of bluffing and reading the opponents.
Jesus Christ.
Anyway, if anyone really wants to fucking gamble that bad, they can go into crime and rob a state that's got good gun control and all the citizens have guns, and you can gamble
California.
with your life. Yeah, gamble with your life.
California.
California and New York. If you want to go do crime, do it in California and New York. They basically have no laws against it.
Yeah, but then where's the fun of gambling with your life?
Most
There's no
people are
thrill.
into gambling to make money, not for the thrills.
Yeah. The gambling addicts I'm talking about who are stuck on gacha for the thrill of gambling and getting PNG.
The house
waifus, not
always
for
wins unless
actually
you're
money.
Courier 6 with 10 luck. I think Fallout New Vegas, playing blackjack in Fallout New Vegas is the most clear example of why you should never play digital blackjack ever in existence.
Oh yeah.
Literally, it's, if I have 1 luck, I will lose every hand because the game is coded to make me lose. If I have 10 luck, I physically can't lose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again,
Like,
anyone,
what's the point?
anyone who ever asks you, you can have any power from a video game. What do you want? The answer is max luck.
Yeah, max luck.
Max good luck, not just max bad luck in general.
No game has a bad luck stat.
I don't want to live in interesting
No, there are
times.
plenty of games that have like a curse system.
Yeah,
Like,
and you can get that
but
from
they
bad
don't.
luck.
but generally the luck
Sure, but it's
stat
not
is
part of the
only good
luck
luck.
stat. Yeah, the luck stat is always good.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But
I
yeah,
thought he just meant max luck in general, not a stat. So just really
No,
max both
if
good
he
and bad luck.
he fucking just outlined it. If it's from a game, what
Yeah.
do you want? Jesus Christ.
I
Listen,
don't
I'm too
remember.
sober, I don't have any alcohol in me.
I don't remember what game it was. I forget what it was. There was it was the Atom RPG, which is like basically Fallout Russia. They went.
Yeah.
They did some absolutely absurd stuff with the 10 luck prompts. Like, I mean, they're completely and utterly over the top, stupid, ridiculous, but they're really funny for that. Like, I forget what it is. Like, there's one point where you get ambushed, you're surrounded and disarmed, and you can basically just start telling all the thugs they need to fuck off and leave you alone, or bad things will happen to them. And all of them are getting kind of nervous. And then the head thug is like, "Why are you idiots listening to him? We have him tied the fuck up and kneeling." And then a satellite falls on him.
Ooh.
So,
Like,
in an effort to make
squishes
you
him into
start
paste.
drinking,
I mean, yes.
the
But,
loop.
right, that's the
He
kind of
was
stuff.
tired of dying to Ishishiki countless number of times. Fortunately, this time in particular, the game decided to gift him with something different. Gamer Sasuke, Boruto Sasuke, Time Loop Sasuke. Sasuke times Hinata.
You fucking what?
Yeah,
You fucking what?
yeah. Like,
Oh,
Get this filth out of my sight.
like this is like what? Like post
What the
post
fuck?
Naruto and Hinata marriage, post 2 kids, Naruto and Hinata marriage,
Oh boy.
And they're cuck
And
Naruto.
he's somehow gonna get with Hinata.
and he's somehow
Yes.
gonna get with Hinata because he's a gamer
no.
time looping Sasuke.
Doesn't Naruto get sealed away by Kawaki or something before Sasuke dies? So technically they might think Naruto's dead, but it's still not good.
yeah, well, they think Boruto killed Naruto because someone interfered with reality and fucked everything up.
Mm.
What?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So there's something
Unfortunately, you gotta
called
go through hundreds of episodes of filler to get to this in the anime.
well,
Sasuke could
or you-
summon. What the
or you
fuck is
or
that
you can
review?
just read
What
the
is that
manga.
review? Yeah. What is
Which is
that
a lot
fucking
quicker.
review?
It's
Yeah, I know they didn't take 100 and something episodes to get to volume 20, so
Also, Naruto was sealed with his wife. Good point.
yes.
oh yeah.
Does that mean Sasuke gets his very own Hinata?
They're not at home, Hanabi.
Shut your whore mouth.
You leave Hanabi alone too.
Boruto already destroyed her. I don't have to do anything.
Fuck right off.
Oh, isn't that how we get goth daddy issues Sarada? No, you look like a prostitute Sarada. You're mixing them up with
There's a
fanfiction.
difference.
Yes.
Oh,
There's no
well,
difference.
this version of prostitute Sarada gets a jacket now.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, didn't
Why does Salad get a jacket?
Sarada almost have a whole love interest thing with her own dad?
She
No.
did. She
Yes.
no,
No.
He almost killed her until he saw her Sharingan and was like, "Oh shit, that's my
Yeah.
kid."
He almost killed his own kid
Hmm.
after not seeing her for
Oh,
like
no, that's
7
my daughter.
years.
Oh, the spirit of I am
dumbass.
sorry, Sarada. The spirit of Itachi entered my body, told me to kill the lost
The
of Jesus.
spirit of Itachi.
The spirit of Itachi told me I needed
He told me to
stronger
kill
eyes.
my family.
He said it would be funny, and I did it.
You know what? That would be hilarious. I would have loved to have seen the author try to pull something out there as like, don't worry, guys, there's another set of eyes beyond the Renegon. It's like,
It's the Rinashera
No, you see,
Byakugan Hugan.
every time you
Sharingan.
need to upgrade your eyes as right, it's like a gacha game,
different
right?
family
You
members.
gotta keep stacking items of the same quality, right? So to get the set of eyes beyond the Rinnegan, you need 4 Rinnegan eyes, which means you have to have murdered
take
like
them from
8 of
somebody
your
who
siblings.
also got a Renegon, who then had to murder their siblings and so on and so forth.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying, right? Like, to find out what's beyond the Rinnegan, you gotta have listen, Sasuke, you gotta start pumping those kids out. You gotta make your own eyeball factory.
Yeah.
You gotta pump them numbers up.
Let's see.
I still
Whirlpool's
don't believe
very
he only had
own.
one kid. Like, what the hell?
Secrets rise from the I mean, come on, man. It's fucking Sakura. Secrets
Look,
rise from the grave to haunt Konoha and the elemental nations for past sins. It all
By the way,
begins
on
with
Shonen, did you
Naruko
guys-
Uzumaki,
Yeah.
a
Oh, God.
shadowy group calling themselves the Whirlpool's very own. Calling themselves what?
Who in the what now?
God!
How has this been going on for 4 years and has only 6 chapters and 76k words?
All descendants of the various Whirlpool clans see Naruko as Whirlpool's hope to restore ancestral home. In Naruto Uzumaki we trust. 6 chapters, 76k words over the course of the past 4 years. 95 favorites and 15 reviews. Like, goddamn.
4 years to get 6 chapters.
So it looks like, not too long ago, Naruko might not have been in the summary.
No. And
Because
didn't tag
there
it
is
as
a
Naruto.
review. Yeah, because apparently there is a
Literally
review.
2 weeks ago or so-ish, a bit more.
Yeah. Yeah, about 2 weeks ago now. There is a review saying that the author did not tag it as Naruko.
See.
Also, did you guys see the leaks for the My Hero fucking ending chapter?
No.
Alright,
care.
so...
Oh god, that shit was
No,
pain.
it's so funny. It's so funny.
Imagine
So-
genuinely having a worse ending than Attack on Titan.
Izuku, 8 years after giving up his quirk, has worked as a wage slave the entire time. No one in Class 1A has kept up with him or been in contact with him, basically. Even Ochiko
Wait.
loved him.
Wait. Why the hell
Okay,
did
hold
he...
on a minute. Hold on a minute. He works as a teacher now, apparently.
No. Wait, why did he give up all for one?
He gave up One for All to All for One, and apparently it killed him or something like that. So he became the greatest hero, like in Chapter 1, by giving up his quirk to kill All for One.
And
that's
now
how he
he's
became the
nothing.
greatest hero. Basically, 8 years later, apparently
is that where all the fucking when the greatest hero makes my Big Mac memes are coming from?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, 8 years later, apparently, Ochiko comes and sees him one of the few times in 8 years, and tells him that Mei Hatsume made him a suit to recreate One for All's powers for him so he can be a hero again. Apparently, it was mainly just paid for by Bakugo alone, and everyone else just kind of chipped in when asked. So Bakugo actually cared about it more than everyone else, along with May, who actually made the suit, despite the fact they had
Jesus
a working
Christ.
suit. Despite the fact they had a working suit 8 years ago that All Might took into battle with All for One.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's actually so bad.
He doesn't even get the girl. You know what? I like that ending. I like him ending up as a
He doesn't
sad,
get the girl.
pathetic
No, I know he
nobody.
does not get the girl. He doesn't
No,
get anything.
no.
I think that's the funniest fucking ending possible. I fully
You know what's
support it.
even worse? The copium from the My Hero fans that are still fans after that ending. Oh, but Bleach ended with Ichigo in a normal career instead of a Soul Reaper. Naruto ended in a normal career as Hokage instead of a hero going around the nations. And then everyone just claps back. Yeah, but they chose to do that. They chose to step back and not be a part of it.
It's not just that. It's not just that though. It's like, oh wow, Naruto just ended his career as a superhero ninja by being the Hokage. You know, that thing
By the way,
that
they've
he's
also
been
got a
shouting
family.
he was gonna do since the start of the fucking.
Yeah,
By the way,
he ended
they
his
both-
career as a hero by getting exactly what he wanted.
And they both also found love and started families, unlike Izuku.
Yeah, there's that too. Yeah.
Wow. And then everyone, other online as well, everyone's just going, fuck, in the end, the One Piece fans are gonna win because Luffy's just gonna go sailing around the world with his crew
I
end it
have
all.
to say the funniest shit possible was 110% the One Piece chapter pushing My Hero Academia out of the way.
Yep. That was
Oh,
Gear 5, right?
That was that was the latest chapter where the final chapter of that's the cover for the final chapter.
Yeah.
Anyway.
that's the funniest
But
shit.
yeah, Izuku is just basically goes from whining baby to ultimate cuck, and that's his final form.
I mean, to be fair, he kind of fucking deserves it. Honestly,
Yeah.
I have been
You know what's
against him
even
his
worse?
entire path.
You know what's
Listen.
even worse? In the
God's
final battle,
strongest
Ojiko screamed to Toga before well, we think she died, there's no info, that she loves Izuku, and then 8 years later, hey, I know I've barely ever seen you a handful of times, but you want to be a
Well,
hero
also-
again?
No.
I think-
What makes it even better is she loved Izuku up until he gave up his quirk.
His quirk,
Which
yeah. In the
really
end,
just
him being
fucking
quirk-
nails it on the head that everyone only is performative, and that the second that Izuku lost his quirk, no one gave a shit about him anymore, besides the person who was his childhood friend who knew him before he had a quirk.
His childhood
bully.
abuser.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely abuser,
Yes.
but I mean actually a friend in the end because he actually was the only person that still cared.
I
Yeah.
mean, you're
Only
not wrong.
because
I'm
he
just saying,
came
right?
around
But
to
like
being
the
a friend
person
from
who
being that asshole.
abused him as a child cared more.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which I mean, listen,
Like
there's
it's
all
almost like he
kinds of
did
things
all
that
of
are
it
wrong
to
with
make
that.
up for being such an asshole as a kid.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I know, but here's the thing: one, Bakugo doesn't deserve a redemption arc. He deserved to fucking
No.
die. Number
Absolutely.
two,
Yes.
Bakugo should have died when his heart got ripped out.
this just me, right? What all of us here have been saying all along: Stain was the hero.
Yes.
Mhm.
And also,
Yeah.
the author's a hack.
Yes.
I mean, yes, but like, can you imagine that? Like, going to Izuku and being like, "Hey, guess what? Stain was right."
Yeah.
And then,
Man,
Oof.
you know
can
what?
you
I would actually
imagining
love.
delivery and fucking Izuku is the one dropping your order off?
Yep.
You
How
know what I
awkward
would
would that
actually
be?
really, really like to see? I would love to see a fan fiction that starts off with the ghost of Stain appearing before McDonald's Izuku and being like, "Look,
Izuku,
Where's
it's
your
I
time.
was
heroism
right.
now,
I was
kid?
right," and Izuku sitting like, right, you come back to Izuku who's come home after yet another night as a wage slave, slumped in the chair, and the ghost of Stain comes in and says, see, I was right. And then Stain goes, "I can give you the power to fix this." And
What,
he
are we gonna
becomes
one
the
more
new
day
Stain.
this?
Oh, that
but
actually
it's gonna-
sounds good.
No,
No,
pick
he
up the
becomes
knife,
the new
Izuku.
Stain.
Pick up the
I
knife.
remember seeing the fucking like post on Twitter. I'm like that. I'm like, man, that's really fucking mean spirited. We don't even know the ending, and then the author just somehow made it worse. Amazing.
Yeah.
Bravo.
Mm.
Bravo, you did it. You made it somehow worse than a bunch of fucking people on Twitter whose only job is to be miserable.
Yeah.
No,
Ghost-
it's honestly
You know what's
it's
even
perfect.
funny about the Ghost Stain thing? Stain's not dead, so Izuku just goes, Stain, how are
Wait,
you talking
no,
to me? You're in prison.
Bro, he's dead.
Oh, did he die in the final battle? Did he show up and die?
No, he's dead.
What?
Isn't Stain
He only-
dead?
No, he
No.
only got put into prison after Izuku and Todoroki caught him. He was in the Ultimate Prison as one of the escapees when that huge breakout happened.
I thought he
Where-
died.
No, he showed up to help in
Yeah.
one of the big fights, and then he's
No,
Yeah.
off to who knows where.
Yeah.
I thought
I
he
thought
blew
had
himself
hope for
up.
them.
Don't think so.
Oh, you know what? Here we go.
Mhm.
You don't need Ghost of Stain's past. He's his roommate.
Oh,
I mean, I
Izuku,
went with Ghost.
Izuku comes home again. You know, Izuku comes home. Stain's there drinking a beer. So how was your day as a wage slave again? Shut the fuck up, Stain.
Do you feel like a hero yet, kid?
Bro, that's the darkest version of Do You Feel Like a Hero Yet that I've ever seen.
Do you have your
Meanwhile,
rent yet?
Stains.
I do.
Stains
It's on the
just-
table over
Stains
there.
Running. Yeah. Oh no, Stain's just running a successful anti-government conspiracy podcast.
Yeah.
Nice.
He's selling male vitality pills.
Wait, proclaiming that he
Stain Bannon.
expected from him, he then crushes Stain, killing him.
Well,
What?
so he is dead.
All for One killed him.
Lame.
To be fair, I haven't been keeping up, so I actually don't know what this fight's been going on, other than the bit of bits and pieces I've been seeing posted to fucking Twitter. So I didn't actually know he was dead.
Alright, well. Still, point being, it'd be funny.
Oh, no, it would be... I truly think there's some comedy value to be mined there.
I honestly, I feel like you could actually get a decent post, not post epilogue, but post MHA story, where, because this is all canon, it's basically a betrayal fic, where Izuku loses his quirk, and everyone just stops contacting him over time.
No,
And,
yeah,
like,
but it's 8
that is
years. Yeah,
kind of
that's the
betrayal.
problem.
Well,
That's
yeah,
the
sure,
problem.
sure.
It's 8 years.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be one thing if it was like a year time skip, but it's an 8-year time skip. Yeah, but you know, what I'm saying is like it's not like an 8-year time skip at this point. It's like maybe a couple months in, and basically like only Bakugo and Ochenko are like the two people that still talk to him, and then Ochenko
No,
stops talking to
Ochako-
him.
Yeah, Ojiko is apparently only barely. Bakugo, barely
Right,
also
I-
talks to him, but yeah.
Hang
I'm
on, you're telling me
saying
that even what's-his-face...
3 months past, not the epilogue, not the
Yeah,
8-year time
yeah.
skip. I'm
Yeah,
talking about
3
before
months.
that as a setup to a story where everyone starts to stop talking with him because he doesn't have a quirk anymore, and he thought they were actually friends, but they were only really friends with him in the end because of his quirk. And so he gets really bitter, and you know, you go through the whole betrayal thing with it, except Izuku actually starts fucking working out. Like, actually working out. Instead of,
like he
like,
did-
doing whatever weird quirk shit he was doing later on, instead of what he used to do.
he pulls a Batman.
Yeah.
Yeah, he pulls a Batman, except, you know, maybe contacts May and is like, May, I need your best devices. We're gonna do some wild shit.
Some of them will explode.
May
That's
would
okay.
totally be down for that.
Some of them will explode. That's okay. You son of a bitch, I'm in.
She would absolutely be down for it.
Yep.
Calls himself
He-
TikTok.
apparently
100%.
she still calls him Mr. 1 Million, apparently, after the sports festival.
To be fair.
Still calls him what?
Mr. 1 Million, or 10 million, or whatever, when he won the big points headband in the sports festival.
In the sports
Yeah.
festival, Izuku won a headband that had 1,000,000 points on it because he came in first during the race.
Well, everyone else only had headbands with points of
Alright.
like a couple of hundred. Yeah. You know what
But
I
yeah.
like the most though? Season 1, All Might was right. Be a realistic kid. Find another job.
Oof.
You can't be a hero without a quirk.
Oof.
Try something else. Be realistic.
I think the funniest thing. Season 1, episode 1. Be realistic, kid. You need a quirk to be a hero. Gets quirk. Season 2, episode 2. All right, let's skip to the end. Season 8, final episode. Izuku doesn't have a quirk. Working at McDonald's. How did I get here?
Wait, this
You know what the best part is? Apparently, All Might's still alive and also barely talks to Izuku.
I don't understand how
Oh,
you make
wow.
this kind of ending. Like,
Yeah.
why? Did he just like?
It's
Was he
supposed to be
Hate your readers.
no. It's supposed to be a drama, big reaction of where they can finally give him this armor so he can be a hero. That's why it's so long of 8 years. But it doesn't work out because All Might literally had that armor in the final battle, so they've had this technology for 8 years.
I have a feeling that he was just done.
Yeah.
He was just like, nah, fuck all my fans. I'm done.
But yeah,
I'm done.
apparently
That
but
sounds
apparently
about
the
right.
only 2 people that kept in contact with Izuku while he was like, because it even describes him walking around, walking past, and seeing hero merchandise of his old classmates all around, and kids pretending to be his
Bruh.
old classmates as heroes. And then apparently the only 2 that kept in contact were Bakugo and Mei, and Mei was kind of interspaced because she kept working on that suit for him.
He was just like, oh yeah, Ochaku and him did it or something. I don't know.
Nope.
Fucking do it yourself. I don't fucking give a shit.
And then
No,
she fucking
apparently she
dumped
wears
him?
a scarf that looks similar to his old uniform mask, but
Like,
that's about it.
this is all you get, shippers. Fuck you. Kill yourself. I'm done with this
Yeah.
manga.
So,
Okay.
oh,
So is this
hold
all
on.
in the
So-
final chapter then?
These are the
This is
leaks that people
he
have been
literally
seeing.
just puts
Oh,
everything
the
in the final
leaks.
chapter.
Yeah. I'm just
Yeah,
No,
hold
the,
it with
the
a grain of
chapter's
salt.
out.
Oh, the chapter's out?
Well, not officially translated. Fan translated probably. But
Yeah.
I'm waiting till Sunday to get the full Viz translation for it.
But yeah, this proves that the fucking quirky support girl that doesn't care about explosions and things was literally the best girl all along.
Yep.
Apparently.
My friend's gonna be real excited about that because that is his second preferred character after Gentle Criminal.
Gentle criminal.
We don't even see
Which, to be
Gentle.
fair,
We don't
No,
even
yeah.
He's
see
cool.
Gentle.
well,
he
no,
doesn't even
hang
show-
on. He got
doesn't-
he
he's
got
not
his
even
wrap up.
Yeah, but he didn't even show up in the final battle or anything to help Izuku after he got
No,
his
he-
chance to be a
No,
hero.
yes,
as
he
well,
did.
didn't
No, yes, he did.
Oh,
He
he
was-
No, he did. Oh,
He
he,
did.
he played a pretty important role in the plan of like, oh shit, the school's falling. Don't worry, I got this.
Oh. Like I said,
Honestly,
I've barely
that's-
seen the fucking bits and pieces.
Having known the general plot beats of the majority of the manga at this point,
What the?
I
Which banner do you have running across the
Oh, I have
screen?
the,
This is
the-
awful.
the
sucks.
yeah
Warning,
The-
Edgelord
there we go.
detected.
edgelord detected.
This
My
is
bad.
not a-
Oh God, I just don't like that it's scrolling with the fucking
Behind
screen
the
title.
text
That's
and in front of
awful.
the text. Weaponized! Weaponized! Let's go! Weaponized!
Oh. But okay, so it's an 8-year time skip. You know what? I expect after 8 years, Izuku has said Stain was right and started running criminal underworld himself with an iron fist,
You know-
keeping things in check.
That would have been actually
hilarious.
funny. Like-
Apparently,
Yeah?
apparently, Gentle was, despite being months in prison and incarcerated, outnumbered 1 to many, made it so that the prison he was in was the only prison to have no escapees.
Nice.
But
He's
After
so
Muscular's
fucking
rampage.
cool.
I honestly, you could really actually get a decent post story, not post epilogue. Again,
Of Izuku going
turns
vigilante as a
villain. Izuku
quirkless
turns vigilante. Yeah, I mean, well, you can do Betrayal
it's
Izuku,
not
where
like-
he either turns vigilante or villain, or you can just do
It's
normal
not like he
Izuku, where he
wouldn't
turns
have-
vigilante.
Yeah, it's not like he wouldn't have a support team. Like, fucking, I'm pretty sure Gentle and La Brava would go back to being villains to work with him, even though they had their chance.
Fucking Izuku blows hole in wall of prison. Yo, Gentle, bravo, let's go.
We're doing
Wait,
tribe.
Izuku, what are you doing here? I'm going to kill every hero. All right.
Just in the background. Nice going, kid.
Good
My
crap,
katana's
son.
buried over there.
Another hand has touched the katana. Oh no.
You
A
just
new
hear
The
hand
Yamato.
touches the edge.
You have acclaimed the Yamato. Good luck, gamer.
Oh no.
Okay, listen. This thing's gonna give you unlimited power, but some dude's gonna come by every 4 years and try to steal your arm. What?
Well, no, he's not
Well,
gonna take his arm unless he's gonna implant it in his arm for some weird fucking reason.
See, now you could actually go even farther with that as to where Izuku is like trying to do his vigilante shit and then fucking gets his arm blown off at some point somehow, and then he has to replace it with a May creation, a devil arm, she calls it.
I mean, if we just want to turn him into Nero,
No.
it's technically a better ending than he fucking got. Jesus.
Yeah, I mean, like you could actually roll this in a lot of different ways that would be remotely interesting, and then
All
you
of a
could really
sudden-
start focusing on the things that you need to focus on in a MHA story, which is how much the government sucks dick and why the hero system doesn't work. Because
Yeah.
frankly, if you're not addressing those issues, then why are you even writing an MHA story?
Yeah. All of
Yeah.
a sudden, final chapter, Nero Izuku walks out into the sunset and just sees someone. Stain? I thought you were dead. Where'd you get that plastic chair?
The
Izuku,
light increases
it's
in
time
volume.
for me to talk to you about
May,
the most.
you have to pay your taxes! No, Izuku! Taxation is theft! It's an
No,
obligation!
No, at this point in time, Stain will be sitting in the chair. Izuku, it's time for me to tell you about the most important of your villain duties. What is it? Tax evasion.
Not paying taxes.
I mean, honestly, if anyone in the MHA verse would be caught doing tax evasion, it would definitely be May.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
absolutely.
probably.
May,
The
how
more
did
tax-
you what'd they do to you? Izuku, I needed to build more of my babies. They kept taking my money.
Izuku blows a hole in the wall of the prison to rescue Gentle and Brava. May is also
Hey, what are you
there.
doing here?
What the
May,
fuck
what
are
are you
you
doing
here
here?
for? Tax
Tax
evasion.
evasion.
Tax evasion.
May, why didn't you
They
pay your
threw
taxes?
you into high security for that? Multiple hundreds of millions of dollars of tax evasion.
Why? Babies weren't going to build themselves.
May,
Gentle in-
why? Okay, look,
Gentle in the
I
background,
gave you-
pretending to be British, because in flashbacks he's not actually British. She's doing the right thing.
What?
What?
Gentle's not actually British. It's apparently a thing that he puts on later in life and actually practiced.
Okay, I mean, that's pretty much
He's
how
faking
normal
it.
British people exist, so...
Yeah.
Oof.
Me, when I see a British person, they are not British.
And yeah, no, an 8-year time skip opens up a lot of like in between stories you could do.
Yeah, but no, he's done because he fucking hates.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, he's done, but I want
All
to
he
see
wanted-
a Moriarty type Deku who's on the side of justice.
Yeah,
this
honestly,
time.
at that
And that's
point,
just
you
'cause
could
he can
really
make money.
just be like, yeah, so Deku goes around, yeah, he's got a new agency, it's called Psych, he pretends to have a psychic quirk, and he just solves crimes, and what he really does is he just pays attention really well.
Yeah.
I was gonna say you could also. Just,
I like that there
No,
wasn't
he
even an
commits the
attempt to
crimes
hide
and
where
then
you were
solves them.
lifting that from.
You know what the worst bit is? I think you're right, and he became a teacher or something at a middle school or something. He's not even a detective or anything
No.
like that.
No, listen, I said I was fine with him losing his quirk if he becomes a teacher at UA because of his skill at deciphering and making theoretical
isn't he a
applications
teacher
of
at UA?
quirks.
No,
No,
he's not.
I think it's just a regular
I
teacher at a middle
don't-
school.
I have no idea.
No, I
I'll
think
know,
he is.
I'll know come Sunday. If he's a teacher and it's not at UA,
yeah.
then it's a failure of the author for not
Didn't
realizing
UA like
his character's
implode?
potential. No.
I mean, you can rebuild it.
No.
It's
Yeah,
not
well,
that hard.
I mean, I
The
don't think it
problem
imploded. I
is-
think it exploded technically if it did anything.
The problem with that is UA only hires pro heroes. Sticker, it never became a pro hero.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah,
Damn, it's crazy.
yeah.
I could
damn.
just
At
see that
best-
little rat. I'm sorry, Izuku, but you're not a pro hero.
And just silence for like 12 seconds before he just starts laughing.
Like, if
Fire
there's
bombs
any-
the office.
Yeah. Like, if there's anyone that I would see had become a UA teacher, it'd probably be Ingenium Leader. Or Tenure, whatever his name is.
Okay, I would say the other option for other than Izuku
Todoroki, actually.
betrayal is Izuku becomes Joker.
Izuku gets hired as a janitor.
Oh.
Also, I find it so fucking funny. They literally brought back the kid who had like the phase through walls quirk, and they're just like, no, we're just not going to use this on Izuku. No. No, why would we do that? Why would we
It wouldn't work though.
yeah,
Because
Why not?
it wasn't originally his
No,
quirk, it
not?
was given
No,
to him, so
the-
it would return him back to before he had the quirk no matter what.
Well, it's not just that. The whole point is that the quirk is used up like completely. It's not passed on to anyone
right.
now.
Oh,
Like it reached
Yeah.
the end of its stockpile life.
hmm Essentially,
What,
My
you mean
problem
it's one
with
for all?
that
Yeah.
is
Why
One
if
for
you're
all was
rever- if
always
you're
one for
reversing
all
time-
was always on a time limit.
Right, but
Yeah,
if you're reversing time, wouldn't you reverse the quirk being used up?
Yeah.
I
and
don't
also, yeah, I
know.
think it was also
Aries
said
okay.
that it is
fix it.
his quirk
So-
now.
If this manga had any sort of consistency in how quirks are meant to work, yes.
Oh, right, my bad.
But this has
I
been
forgot
a
what we
big
were
complaint
talking
of
about.
yours. This
Yeah,
has been a big complaint of yours since
Yeah.
since after its first year of a run, which is, man, this started out great, but now the quirks are getting kind of like inconsistent in how they behave. Is it supernatural? Is it
right.
biomechanical? Well, what's the
it's
Oh,
from the
we just don't know.
soul.
great, cool, thanks.
We don't know because the author is a fucking hack who just reads Marvel comics all day.
Yeah, he just wanted to make a manga that was basically a tribute to Marvel and some DC
Yeah.
comics, and instead he got popular and had to go, fuck, I need a fucking story and plot.
And also, if they were going to do like the time rewind, could it bring his quirk back? Does that mean it's resurrecting the seven
All for one?
souls that were a part of it, or is it now
Yeah.
just an empty shell? It's like, great, you have a quirk that does nothing.
Except for has a lot of energy that you can use to get strong. Like, you don't have float, you don't
Well,
have
no.
the black whip, you have nothing.
Oh well, no,
'Cause
but
the
here's the thing,
strength-
the way
Actually,
the
you know
author
what?
has
No,
written this,
you know
he
what?
wouldn't get that. He wouldn't even
No.
get that
No,
because that would follow
if-
Soul Title rules for some reason.
No,
Oh,
if
right,
you
it
want to
would
be
get
internally
reversed back.
consistent, if you want to be internally consistent, that would actually make the most sense possible. We can't reverse time on Izuku because Eri can't gain enough energy in a single charge to actually reverse him to the point where he has the quirk, because the quirk has so much stored energy to reverse the entropy on it would be
Yeah.
beyond her. Like, you
That
could
she would
actually come up with a
basically need the
legitimate
quirk to
reason.
be able to reverse the quirk.
You know, all right,
Yeah.
that would be logical. I won't say logically consistent, but it
get
would
it.
be logical.
Well, it would be a good enough explanation as to why they didn't do it, besides, fuck you.
Fuck you,
Yeah,
Well,
Tesla.
Fuck
the
you, I'm
issue-
done. I hate
well,
all of you.
Oh
the
my
issue
god,
is that Aries' quirk is just
I just
weird.
realized.
because it's
Eri was 7 at
It's a
the
sh-
end of the final battle. She could be at UA right now living Izuku's
She's legal
dream.
now.
Yes.
She's living Izuku's dream at UA. No, she'd be 15. She'd be
No,
at
according to
15
science, she's
at
legal.
best. Yeah.
Fuck off.
No,
But-
that's exactly what we're trying to prevent here, Sign.
Yeah. But yeah, Eri could be just living Izuku's dream right now of becoming a hero at UA.
So why the fuck isn't
Well, most
Like-
likely.
There's so many fucking angles they could have gone for the ending, and then they didn't, and it's like,
Why? Wait,
why?
You know,
didn't
'cause
have
earlier.
a Batman. You didn't have a Batman like hero. Why did you just make a
You
Batman?
actually said whoever said it earlier of Izuku Joker. They might be onto something.
That was
you
me.
could have like Izuku having adopted Eri, telling him about the great things about UA every single fucking day after he comes home from his wagey work, and you could really get the ball going by having Izuku look at himself in the mirror like every day, and he's like fucking talking to himself in the mirror, but the mirror's the one talking to him, and it's like, oh, do you feel like a hero yet, Izuku?
Yep.
Oh no, I was gonna say no. In order to get to Joker, no, you don't want angry. You need to start with depression. Look in the mirror.
Yeah.
You need to break him. You need him to be broken.
But that's what I'm saying though, is that you can get to that point of where that's where he finally loses it.
Mm-hmm.
I think going and becoming a wagey after having been a hero would in fact break him.
Mm.
I mean, think about it.
Yeah,
You
becoming
were
so
at
depressed.
such a height, and then you fell to this, and it's
Can't
life is
even
over.
pick up a job as a detective despite his above average intelligence and extensive
he's quirkless.
experience. Because he's quirkless, yeah.
It doesn't matter how well you were taught by Sir Naito before his death, you are quirkless. Against villains and criminals that you will have to handcuff, you will be useless.
Yep.
But he could join the normal
But
police.
that doesn't mean he could.
There is no normal police.
No,
The normal
he
police
could
are
do
the
the
quirk
actual
police.
detective work.
Yeah, the normal police are the quirked.
Yeah.
Like he could do the actual detective work, and then
Like
let somebody else
Sokaichi?
handle the arrests.
Sorry, but we have people with lie detecting quirks. They're already better than
And we have
Izuku
people
now.
with scenting quirks. We have people with like history quirks. We have people.
You have
Yeah.
people with a common fucking sense quirk.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's called doesn't fucking exist.
Yeah. But literally,
yeah.
the only case of detectives we've seen are those with animal-like quirks that have probably better senses, and one guy that is a human lie detector. Like, if you don't
Yeah,
have that kind
see,
of quirk,
but
you probably
like
don't get
that's why
detective.
my idea would be funny of Izuku starting an agency called Psych, and where he pretends to have a psychic quirk, where he just goes around proving the cops wrong at these
yeah.
detection scenes where they're like,
I-
oh,
actually,
well,
you
my
know what-
nose
you know what's
quirk
funny?
tells me what.
You could
Sneaky.
probably call it psych, and the people reading it would not understand that you just lifted that from USA.
problem-
Fuck
Yeah.
you,
Oh, God.
Max.
The problem is that the entire world knows about One for All and Izuku's quirk and how he was quirkless, because All for One let that out to everyone.
Just dye his hair.
Ooh.
Or alternatively say that One for All like did something.
Mizuku Midoriya.
Yeah.
Mizuku Midoriya.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
he
it
just
is,
dyes
Mizuku.
his hair blue, calls himself Mizuku Midoriya.
Problem solved.
You are quirkless. Except for Mei, she goes, alright, time to get myself a boy toy with power armor.
Yeah, and
She
then
literally would.
and fucking yeah. So he just gets some sort of quirky sidekick, literally. And
Wait.
the two of them go and solve crime.
Mei would just go, wait, you mean I can make him customizable?
Yes. Ooh, he's gonna vibrate in so many places.
Oh god, son,
Huh?
you're
What
ruining
Well,
did
I
you
mean,
mean?
now
Sign
to be
your order.
fair, yeah, exactly, sign. But no, but that does bring up the point is that you could also go the Genji route, where Izuku tries to be a hero after losing his quirk, takes massive damage, and Mei's like, I can rebuild him, and goes full Genji on him from
Yeah,
Overwatch.
$40 man.
Or for the DC, if you want to go DC, Cyborg, because
Right.
the orthopedic fucking
$6
comic book nerd.
million man has them preceded.
That's fair.
I mean,
But,
to be fair, that's a great startup for a
I'm
Metal Gear Rising
trying to be
Revengeance.
hip with the kids' side. Not
Okay.
Yeah.
everyone can have seen a movie from 1820.
You
It
know
wasn't
what?
a movie, it was a
May-
series.
May would be the reason that Izuku becomes a Metal Gear Rising
I-
Revengeance protagonist against Senator Armstrong.
Well, actually, I
Yes.
think May's more likely to turn him into Inspector Gadget. To be
Yeah,
honest,
Yeah.
Also
true.
that too.
Real. Yeah.
Go Gadget Izuku hero suit.
Go Gadget. Farming hose.
Go Gadget May's secret fun time.
God, Stein, why do you
Implying
keep
she
ruining
wouldn't-
it?
Yeah, sign is too
It's
horny.
Because
May.
he
You
has a
think she
one
wouldn't?
Yes,
No,
because she
Max,
gets her rocks
Max,
off
no,
making
Max.
machines.
Sign doesn't have a one-track mind. The tracks
gotta
are
have
under
a mind.
construction. The train hasn't moved for 90 years.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Eat shit.
Stein, she gets her rocks off by making new inventions. She wouldn't care about shit like that.
Not gonna lie, I want to see where Izuku goes into Doctor Doom. You see, but you can do all of these ideas with a post story Izuku.
Well, actually, what's funny is you can do every single one of these ideas in the same story too, because it's an 8-year time span. Each year is just a different identity.
Izuku,
He's just
to
trying
keep him
different
one
shit.
step ahead of the cops, keeps inventing new personas.
Izuku and Dr.
And
Doom.
May's along for the ride.
Behold my disfigurement! Izuku, you look the same, but now I'm quirkless.
I need to
Oof.
cover up my disfigurement. Izuku, you're not disfigured. I'm quirkless. I need to cover up all parts of me.
Call me the Leper King. Because no one wants to be around me.
I'll believe you sign if you
Oof.
make Tanya's outer heaven stay monogamous. I mean, yeah.
That's
if it
Commissioned,
was up
I
to me,
believe.
She's
there
only
wouldn't
going
even
for
be.
Visha.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it was up to the original commissioner, which is Sneaky, it wouldn't even have a pairing because it doesn't need one. But
Well,
Sign
no,
can't
it could
help
have
himself.
the pairing. It's just I'm not gonna pay for any porn of it.
He's
Yeah.
not gonna pay for porn.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Sign can't help himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, also true.
And to be fair, though, everyone is currently paying Sign for Tau chapters of just saying keep doing what you're currently doing. So
Yeah.
And alright, think about it. Does the Tanya and Visha thing really not seem like it would happen? Does it stretch suspension of disbelief at all?
no, that's why I didn't comment on it. Besides the funny picture I sent you.
Exactly.
For everyone else, this is the picture I sent Sign after the chapter he just sent me, number 17. Let me 18. Oh, 18. So it ended with Tanya going, "Oh no, I'm in danger," because Visha just rattled off to the second when it would be 5 p.m. on her birthday.
When she's legal and off duty.
Yeah. I
Neil Knight
sent
letters,
him
just-
this
that's
as a
just-
response.
That's just Neil Knight Letter's fucking normal face and attitude.
I know. That's the point. Visha be like. Also, apparently in the light novel, she was blonde.
Oh,
Wait, yeah, apparently that's another thing that they changed across all 3 timelines. Is in the light novel she was blonde and blue-eyed. In
the anime,
manga,
she's brunette.
Yeah, in the manga she's brunette with blue eyes, and in the anime she's brown-eyed, brown-haired.
So in the manga, she looks basically identical to her light novel version, except her hair's longer and it's brown. And in the anime version, they made her potato face.
Yeah, you keep bringing that up.
Yes, because it's a travesty.
So is your writing, but we keep bringing that up as well as long as you do this.
True.
Mm.
Have I been pinged?
No defense!
Mm.
Ugh.
Anyway, yeah. So point being is, he's on a good track right now with TOH. I am actively regulating him to prevent him from escalating too far without logical continuancy in the events that are occurring. He does have an issue so far with, I've had to say this multiple times, but he is getting better. He doesn't quite establish that time is passing. But he's been fixing it.
Like the thing with
He's been fixing it.
Tanya finding her clothes are too small, right? I did drop some lines in there. In the
Yeah,
original
I know.
version
You said
where
you've
it
been fixing it. Yeah,
implies
I know.
No, I mean, before you even pointed out, there were some lines in there that implied that time had passed, but it wasn't super obvious.
Well, no, what I told you precisely was I thought like a week had passed because she's commenting about new clothes coming out of the laundry, and you're like, no, a month or plus have passed. I'm like, well, you should
That is not
definitely
getting
really
across.
mention that. Yeah.
I had to clarify exactly. Had to add lines to clarify.
What the fuck? A different world. When a mission in Kusakage goes wrong, Naruto is gravely injured and him and his team try to escape. 3 weeks later, he wakes up in a house with blacked out windows and a barricaded door. After breaking out of the house, he finds out that Dawn of the Living Dead has occurred, and Naruto is now on a quest to find his team and return to Konoha. A drama horror story.
Okay,
What
but
the
there's literally
fuck?
vampires.
Wait.
Not vampires, zombies in canon.
Isn't that
Karen's village, the grass village,
no,
Kusagakure.
no. Isn't that the plot of Resident
Walking-
Evil
Oh.
4?
No. 4 is he goes to save the president's daughter. This is it Veronica? No. No.
I thought that was
it's
2.
one of them.
No, wait, no, you're right, yeah.
No. 4 is going to save the president's daughter.
Right.
5 has Shiva in it.
And then
3,
6 was
I
the
don't-
action-packed one, so that can't be it.
Yeah. 1 is the mansion, I believe, that the special ops team is in.
1 and 2 are the
2
mansion, I think.
Yeah, it's either 3 or it's Code Veronica, I believe.
It might be Code Veronica.
Mm.
Yeah, I just feel like this is a plot I've seen in
Either
either
that-
a movie.
Either that or it's one of the Silent Hills and we're getting them mixed up. It could be
Oh, it might be a Silent Hill, yeah.
because
But-
I know less about Silent Hill, but I do have a vague knowledge of most of them.
I have basically no knowledge of Silent Hill, but yeah, I just vaguely recall like a game or a movie I've seen before having the plot be main character wakes up in a barricaded house and breaks out to find out that like the zombie
Zombie.
plague happened.
Mm.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it'd be a really. I really don't know how a zombie event could even really happen. In
It already did
Naruto.
canonically.
no, it didn't. No,
Yes.
no, the zombie
Nar-
summoning jutsu is not the same as Dawn of the Dead.
Nope. That's not what I'm talking about. There was a filler, quote unquote, canonical.
No,
It-
it's
it-
not
it-
canonical.
it was
No
a-
filler is canonical.
Okay, let me rephrase. It is something that they made money to make. That makes it more
Nar-
canon than fan fiction.
No,
okay?
it
You can
literally doesn't
refer
make it
to
canon at all.
No.
Kishimoto explicitly laid out that the only filler that is canon to the story is the one he worked on, which is called Naruto the Last. Every
The
other
movie,
bit of
yes,
filler
okay.
is purely filler and not canon.
And the character,
Okay,
yeah.
even if it is filler, it is something that was published, and we can point to and go, "Hey, look, they've already fucking done this in the
But
past."
Stein, was it
so
in the manga?
No, it wasn't in the manga. No.
Then it doesn't count.
not
I still
technically
don't
canon, it
recall
does not
ever
technically
hearing
count.
about it.
You remember the one with the priestess?
You mean
The
the one
demon
in
movie?
Demon Country
Hinata-
with demons?
No.
That wasn't
She looks
zombies.
identical.
That was Demon
She looks
Country.
identical to Hinata. She has,
Demon
except
Country.
she has white hair. Is that Demon Country?
Yes.
Shion, yes. Pretty sure that is. She has
Shion,
white
yes.
hair and she
They
doesn't. Yes, that's Demon
summoned
Country movie.
zombies.
Yes, that's Demon Country.
Like
It
they
does
made
not
zombies.
And
no,
it's not summoning
those are
zombies, it's a
demons.
demon. Demons. They're demons summoned by a demon. They're not corpses or zombies. They're just spirits. That's not Day of the Dead sign. And
I'm
it's not
sending that to
filler.
you.
And it's not filler, it's from a movie. It's as filler as the fucking
Yeah, no,
Snow
that's
Country
also
movie.
filler.
Well, it's a
All the
filler
movies are
movie.
filler.
It's just filler. It's on the same level as the Snow Country fucking movie.
Yeah, they're all filler.
Which is unfortunate because that was a good movie.
Yeah.
Was. It's as canon as the fucking Blood Prison movie where there's a chick that has the Rinnegan eyes and can bring people back from the dead.
No, wait, I thought you
Yeah.
said that was the last.
Yeah,
That is
he's
the
saying
last.
it's as canon.
No, that's Blood Prison. Ryozetsu is just another movie where she apparently has Rinnegan
Oh.
eyes and can bring people back from the dead. She brings Naruto back to life for the cost of her own.
Yeah, yeah.
She's even got Rinnegan eyes.
All of the movies
That's
are
some bullshit.
non-canon except for the last one, which is called The Last.
Mm. Yes, which is where Hinata and Naruto get together and they face Taneri.
And Naruto cuts the moon in half.
Yeah, and
Isn't that
survives
the one with the
Jutsu
giant
capable of
railgun?
destroying.
When
Yes,
Max and
Kumo
I
has
actually
a giant...
sat down and rewatched it, and holy shit, were we busting a
Yeah.
gut.
Yeah.
It's great.
Damn, that shit was dumb.
Sneaky really enjoyed watching the part again of like, don't worry, we have a moon destroying cannon. I was like, why?
Why do you have that?
Why do you have
Just in case.
Don't worry
that?
about it.
Just in
The
case Kaguya tries
fucking
to...
mountain opens up, and the cannon rolls out, and everyone's like, what the fuck?
We had it
Why?
just in case the moon was
Why do you
haunted.
keep doing this?
It shoots black holes.
Why?
Why?
Moon keeps being
What?
haunted.
It was funny, and I was drunk.
Oh no, we're having thousands of asteroids fall on us. Don't worry. Our cannon has an alternative firing mode that can target every single one of those asteroids.
Why do you have
God, that's such bullshit.
Yeah.
the least modded Stellaris run?
You know what? I am frankly astounded by the fact that we do not have a single meme created where it's like just a bunch of ninja fights being shown, and it's like, this is vanilla gameplay, and then it shows the clip of them rolling the giant cannon out of the mountain, and it being subtitled with modded gameplay.
No.
Why didn't they use it against the aliens? You know, that's a good question. You know what
Yeah.
else is a good question? Why do they make it aliens?
Yeah.
Another question is, what the fuck are manga writers
Why,
smoking?
why are velociraptors involved? You know, like...
Yeah, why does
It is
Sasuke
all
lose
of
to
these
the
is the
dinosaurs?
same
Why does
thing.
Sasuke lose to the dinosaurs at one point?
Sasuke Raptor.
Bro.
Why
The
are
answer to all
ninja
of these is the same.
velociraptors
Why
a
can I?
thing?
Why can I still not play as the Velociraptor in the current game?
True.
Yeah, like,
Fucking
why
bastard.
are the velociraptors also ninjas? That's the real question.
Because fuck you, that's why.
Yeah, also, speaking of which, Max, apparently Arc Combat Evolved has gone just full fucking meme and has added Godzilla-sized kaiju to the
Yes.
game.
Yes.
I see nothing wrong with this.
Okay,
And you
here's
can
the
get
important
them
There's
as
question.
always
pets
a game for
and
aliens.
ride
I was going
them.
to ask. I was going to ask. The important question is, can you still tame them?
Yes, and you can make them
Yes.
fight each other and crush buildings
Yeah,
and shoot
I got a
giant
friend
laser
who's still.
beams.
Yeah. I got a
Also,
friend who
they
keeps
added
me updated
giant
on that.
kaiju fighting mechs as well.
Mhm.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know, if this was 10 years ago, that'd have been enough for me to like, all right, I'm buying this game. I don't care if I gotta put 400 hours in. I'm getting this.
Yeah. Yeah, and these days, honestly,
The
those
problem with
games
Ark
are
isn't
just kinda
playing
not.
Ark. The
Yeah.
problem is all the fucking lag.
The problem with playing
the
Ark is that
waiting.
you have to play Ark. Yeah.
Yeah. It's all the lag and the waiting that you've got to fucking do.
Well, it's not just that, it's just the gameplay
And the
loop on it's
spawn
just not
camping.
fun.
And the gameplay's boring.
Yeah, like, the only reason why the Ark, HoloLive Ark shit is even remotely, like, funny or interesting
Mm.
is because none of them are interested in power gaming.
Mm.
So they just all just do a bunch of dumb shit. And it's the entire server filled with people just doing dumb shit.
Yeah.
It was Naruto, a new start. Naruka decided to adopt Naruto instead of going back to being a teacher. He comes to the conclusion that he should help make sure Naruto has the support in life that he needs. He goes to the Hokage, who accepts, but made the clarification that Naruto also needs a mom, and so Anko crashes through the window and adopts Naruka.
What?
I believe
Yes.
it.
Yeah, 28 favorites, 16 chapters, 39,000 words. So basically, this guy can't write. He's been updating since March 23rd of this year. He put 40k words out. I mean, it's a respectable rate, but frankly, my dude,
Give up.
yeah. Yeah.
That's the best advice I can give you. Just give up.
It's it's hard for me these days to really sit down and think about the benefits of even writing a fanfic now. Like back in the day, I was still kind of like very pro go write the fanfic, have a time. But like these days with the big series that exist, it's like I honestly don't understand why you would bother writing an
It's
Naruto
just
story. There's just no
not
chance
worth
of you
it.
ever finishing it. It's like starting a picture. It's like you start drawing a picture and then you just get like only to half of the line art and then you stop and never pick it up again.
Mhm.
And it's kind of just like if you knew how much effort this was going to take. It's not like Naruto is a small story.
No. Like, you look at all the ones that we used to make fan fictions of, people used to make fan fictions of, and it's just, you're never going to finish them unless you stop it off early through some plot hole or something.
I mean, like, a couple of Harry Potter stories actually make it to the end and actually do all 7 years. But we're
they
talking
usually
like
go like one chapter per year.
0.0.
They don't. They usually do one chapter per year. Though.
No. I've legit seen full length stories for each year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but like we're talking about like 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe like 5. Okay, and then carry the 0. I would say maybe 500 of the 300,000 stories for Harry Potter that are out have actually completed Harry Potter.
Mm.
And I don't mean put the complete tag on their story. I mean actually wrote all 7 years out fully as books. It's just, it's hard. It's a lot of words. It's a lot of time to dedicate to a story that you personally didn't come up with, that you are then going to have to try and square the circle on a lot of really silly author decisions. And even more, it's like when I've told Gray this before. I'm sure I've said it on the podcast before, but as an author, you really should have like 2 to 3 pages of notes for shit that'll never go in your story. But it's just like explanations for you as to why stuff works certain ways. Like you don't have to explain everything to the readers, but you do want to have enough notes in your story to remain internally consistent in your own head when you're making plot points and you're coming up with certain stuff. Because it just makes for a better story. And I realize a lot of stories don't follow this, but, you know, like Tolkien does. Dresden does. Wheel of Time does. And those aren't small fry stories. And, you know, you have plenty of Harry Potters out there and George R.R. Martins out there, certainly. And I'm sure they basically have no fucking extra notes because George R.R. Martin wants to make sure everyone is explicitly aware of all of his thoughts at all times, including feet, incest, and food and shit.
Yes.
But it's just good practice to have. And the unfortunate bit of that, though, is because you end up having these notes that will never get passed on to the actual audience. Well, I say never, but Pottermore exists and the Silmarillion exist. So technically speaking, they can get passed on, but they tend to not be.
Unless they're published as errata.
Right. That's literally my point, though. Is that, like, you know, they can be passed on, but more often than not, series don't get big enough to make it valuable enough to publish the errata.
Yeah, true.
A lot of the underlying decisions as to why you did X instead of Y don't get transmitted to the audience. And I'm not talking about, like, oh, they just didn't pick up on it. I'm just flat out talking about, like, you literally just never put it in, but you had an internal reason as to why X character never showed up, but it wasn't relevant to the plot, so you just never put that part in. And, like,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
the audience then has to kind of play guess 20 on trying to figure out the stuff that you didn't tell them. And the difference between the stuff you didn't tell them and the stuff you just didn't think about. I read one Nardafic recently that started during the Forest of Death. Yeah, and it's like a lot of these stories are going back really far, and I commend them on a certain level for trying it, but there's just a lot of content that you need to cover to make it work, and it's a lot of effort that I don't think a lot of people realize. And again, I'm fine, you know, it's a hobby. It's not like they're getting paid. Majority of them aren't. It's not like they're getting paid to try and write these stories, and they're not. There's not exactly a financial encouragement or any sort of societal encouragement for these stories to be coherent. It's sort of like, in my opinion, the free version of buying $4,000 worth of miniatures and then only half painting some of them and then never getting around to the rest.
What the hell did I
Well,
come back to?
Me talking about
finishing
why it's
Harry
kind
Potter
of
being too
weird.
long.
Yeah, well, it's me talking about why
Finishing
it's kind of
stories.
weird to write fan fiction for Naruto and One Piece and other such.
When it's so big nowadays.
Yeah.
Well, okay, with a lot of these stories, though, you don't have to write the full content if your story doesn't involve the full content, and you can just kind of shortcut or cut it very short in a lot of cases and go, okay, and that's where it is because we resolved the parts that I wanted resolved, and they fucked off and did something completely different from canon.
Yeah.
Sure, you could certainly
Like
do that,
a time
but
travel story where Harry comes back, collects all of the fucking Horcruxes in the first year, destroys them, offs Voldemort in the second year, and then he just fucks off with pick your woman of choice to go live his life happily in the past.
sure, but the key part there is that a lot of those stories can't actually do that, right? Like DxD, for example. A lot needs to happen in DxD for the plot to progress the way it does, so it ends up in the position that it does, where Trihexa finally breaks out the way he does, in a way that allows the heroes to finally defeat him.
DxD is a fucking mess, though.
But the problem with that is that a lot of stories have that issue of specific plot elements have to occur for other specific plot elements to occur for the big bad to finally be defeated. For example, Aragon. It doesn't matter how powerful you get. In Aragon, you could time travel all you want, but unless you already know how to defeat Galbatorix, you time traveling into the past will do effectively nothing, because Galbatorix is just so fuck off powerful that you literally have to recreate canon to defeat him no matter what.
Because
Or
the way
you have to
it's
somehow go
written,
far
the
enough
author
back in
had
time
no-
to before Galbatorix was Mr. Big Dick.
Right, exactly.
and then just unmake him then, yes.
I fucking thought you said Galbatorix. I'm like, why the fuck is Asterix in this shit?
What?
Did say Galbator.
I thought you said
Galbatorix.
Galbatorix, like the.
That's what he said.
Yes.
Is what you said?
That's
Yes.
what Sneaky said.
That's the villain's name.
The
Nose.
Yeah,
Do you smell toast?
I might smell toast.
How many fingers am I holding up?
3.
13.
story. Just write your own original story and say you were inspired by One Piece or Naruto. Yeah, no, exactly. We have reached the point where there is so much content in One Piece and Naruto. Just write your own story. Unless you're gonna do a small little niche focused campaign of like Naruto and Hinata go out on a date, or this is them exploring their love life, and this is going to be a little, 45K short novella about this thing that I want to cover in the universe. If you're really going to
Slice of
start
life.
from ground zero and try and run through 13 years of established canon, just write your own story at that point. I realize
Yeah.
you're a Naruto fan, but homie, you ain't that much of a Naruto fan. No one is.
Oh no, I've seen some people being that much of a Naruto fan.
We
No.
don't consider those people.
No.
Oh, they're not people. Fair.
They're not Naruto fans.
I'm not saying that there's a Naruto fan question, but
No. They're not Naruto fans. They're Power Wank fans that have their own stupid headcanons where they completely ignore the actual canon in favor of the bullshit they've made up in their mind that they have retroactively decided to make canon for what their opinion of how
true.
Naruto goes.
Yes.
I have
Thank you.
interacted with those people before. They are
Power-
not people.
people who say like, "Oh, this character could totally beat your character," it's power level. I'm gonna pull up this fucking one chapter that says this. It's like, bro, you smell so fucking bad. You make a Warhammer convention look like it's clean.
Oof.
The desperation.
Oof.
The desperation is
Yeah,
physically able to be seen on you.
These
like,
people
"Can you beat
aren't
Goku?"
Naruto
I don't
fans.
fucking give a shit.
Yeah,
Shut up.
they're not DBZ fans. They're not Naruto fans. They
They're Power
are
Wank fans.
self-insert Power Wank fans.
Like, these are the same people that go like, "Oh yeah, Gohan's totally like gets all the cheese." Like, bro, shut up.
And the reason why they so feverishly defend whatever character they decide to autistically focus on isn't because they like that character. It's because they, in their mind, have replaced that character with themselves. They have drawn
It's their
themselves
self-insert.
as the Chad Goku self-insert, and you as the crying Wojak. Like, these sorts of people aren't fans of the series, of the premise, of the overarching message. They are lost in their own delusion.
And then there are the Brazilians.
I repeat myself.
Yep. And then there's the signs who only care about the porn and sex.
Well,
And then
only
there's
if they're
the,
below 14 years old.
And then
Yeah.
there's the cartel, which you don't want to get involved with.
Yes.
What? Yeah, that's really-
Cartel.
Yeah.
Just show Goku as
The
your main
cartel
religion
loves
and you're good.
DBZ.
Okay.
Yeah, the cartel loves CBZ, dude.
Yeah. I
Brazilians,
know.
Mexicans, all them. They love their DBZ.
I'm aware.
Yep. Remember, if you want a good Mexican place, look for the Goku statue holding a sombrero.
Yes.
And but
for
my
the place
point
with
though.
the Goku wall art.
My point though is those sorts of fans aren't out writing a Dragon Ball Z story about how they would do
No.
it better because they hold the fandom in such a shrine of perfection that they don't think about alternatives because they
Yeah.
Yeah, they're a different breed.
they've
They love
enshrined
the
it.
story.
Yeah.
They don't
They-
care about the power
Well-
link, they just love the story.
The thing with being
you
any
d- if
kind
you
of
dare
a
to compare their
fanfiction
story-
author,
To like fucking any sort of weird shit. They'll be like, shut the fuck up.
Yes.
the thing with being any kind of fan fiction or especially a self-insert author is you have to have a certain level of hubris to look at it and think, you know what? I could do it better.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong to a certain extent, but at the same time, I mean, a lot of fanfic ends up being like that, but I postulate that a lot of fanfic that we cover on this podcast wasn't really fanfic. It was
No.
hate fic,
Canon.
it was hubris fic, it
Or it was
was
just canon.
delusion fic. Yeah, it's very
Canon
little of the
retreads.
fanfic we've ever covered on this podcast has actually been faithful to the fandom they're claiming to write for. And I would say more is that you don't need hubris to be a fanfic author, because like a real fanfic author would be writing the sort of shit I just said earlier, where it's like, oh, this is Naruto and Hinata going out on dates. This is them exploring their post-canon relationship. This is how Sasuke and Sakura ended up finally having sex and getting salad out of it. This is the story of what?
He knows what he said.
What?
You know what? I think it would be funnier. You know what? I want to see someone write a fanfiction just to piss off the Sasuke and Sakura shippers. Make it so that they're bearding for each other.
They're Sasuke Sakura shippers?
Yeah.
Are
Oh,
you
yes.
What?
Those exist?
Bro, are you okay?
surprisingly?
Mods, crush this man with reality.
Mods, put autism medicine in his food.
How dare you? You've taken my medicine from me, you fucker.
Yeah, Nose needs that.
Mods
But-
read in Boruto.
The most heinous crime.
No.
Mods, force feed this man apricot.
Ew.
Mods, begin the brain transfer. He shall receive my immortal.
He shall receive
No.
my blessing. But yeah, what I'm saying is a lot of these stories we end up covering on this podcast end up being delusion fics. They end up being the sort of fanfics where the author has completely gone off the rails on what is enshrined into canon and has not just decided to repaint the house. They've decided to mow the house down with a bulldozer and slap a picture in front of the house of what they think the cooler version of the house would be, and do nothing past that.
Mm.
Fair.
They come up with completely batshit ideas of self-insert isekai garbage, where almost always, even if the main character isn't labeled a self-insert OC, it is. Even if they're wearing Naruto skin or Sasuke skin or whoever skin, it always ends up being the author unable to pull themselves out of how they would do everything better. And that's not a real fan. That's not real fan fiction. Because to write fan fiction, you have to be a fan of the fiction you are writing work for. Just like it's not fan art if you're drawing Samus as a fat, black, disabled woman who doesn't have legs. That's
words
not
are cursed
fan art of
stuff.
Samus. That is fan art of yourself in your head as the Samus character wearing Samus's clothes, but you're not Samus. This is not Samus fan art. No one would look at such art and go, yes, this person is clearly a big fan of Samus the character.
No, it's an insult.
Well, they don't.
It's
see it
not-
as an insult.
Please
It's
take
not-
off the Samus flesh suit. It's horrific.
And and not only that, it's not hubris to draw your fat black OC, disabled OC in Samus's Zero suit. That's not hubris. That is delusion. That is possession. That is it is hallucination. It's not hubris. Hubris is you thinking you're somehow going to improve it.
That's why I said I can do it better.
Can you?
But
No.
to improve a boat, it needs to stay a boat.
A boat.
To improve a house, It needs to stay
house.
a house. You can't say, I am going to improve this pool, and then you fill it with cement.
Well, that's the difference between the fan fiction authors and the delusional.
Right, but that's what I'm
Whatever
saying.
the
There
fuck
is
they
there
are.
is hubris. There is someone looking at a house and going, "Oh, I can make this house better." And they repaint the house with garish colors, and they put some fucking crap ass plaster on one side of it, and then they like dye all of the windows black because that's cool now, and they rip out all of the lights inside the house and replace them with candles because it adds atmosphere.
Yeah, those
That
people
is
are just
hubris.
No,
Delusion
they're retarded.
is mowing the house down, shitting onto the giant pile of rubble, and going, I have improved it. No, that's
It's
just
the
you being
pigeon knocking
delusional.
over the chessboard
Yeah,
and then
the-
shitting on it.
yes, that's just you being delusional. That's not hubris. That's the
Hmm.
difference between the two. And now, I'm not saying that the person doing all of this isn't feeling hubris. That you can't say they're not being hubristic. But I am saying I wouldn't describe that as hubris. That kind of like, it's kind of like one of those radiology meters. You know, you have the green as canon, and then the red is like on fire or whatever. It's like one of those fucking
Yes.
meters. Is like, there is a point where that hubris just turns into pure delusion. There is a threshold where it is the same emotion, but it does reach a point where you go, Jesus Christ, this person is just fucking insane. They're not full of themselves. They're just insane.
Mm-hmm.
And
Please stop, in
that's
other words.
what a lot of fanfic authors of the current era are. Is they're just insane. They have no idea how to tell a story. And I don't mean how to write a story, because while that is part of it, I don't blame people who don't write for not being able to write. I do, however, blame them for not being able to tell a story. It's sort of like how I don't blame someone who just started on an instrument for not being able to play the instrument, but I will blame them for when they try to write a song without knowing how to play the instrument, and they don't know how lyrics go together, and they don't know how to sing, and they don't know how to do all of the other parts that turn a jumble of words into a song. These people don't know how to turn words into a narrative. They don't know how to start with an idea, tell a person an idea, and then drag that person through their idea and bring them to the end of their idea. I will blame people for that. It's like buying miniatures, getting a paintbrush, and wiping the paintbrush on the miniatures and going, why isn't the paint appearing? Well, you have to buy the paint and put the paintbrush in the paint, and then you have to put the paint on the paintbrush on the miniature in the layer that it takes to put the colors that you want. Like, I don't blame someone for doing it badly. I blame them for not knowing there needs to be paint on the paintbrush to paint something. There's a difference there. There is a minimum degree of expectation that is actually very low, honestly, at the end of the day. And it's not even an expectation of competency. It's an expectation of expectation, I guess you could call it. Where if someone says they're going to paint an object, or drive their car, or turn their computer on, the minimum level you expect out of all of that is for them to buy paint to paint with, for them to fill the car with gas so they can drive, to pay their electric bill, or plug the fucking computer into the wall. I don't blame someone for not being able to use a computer, but I will blame them if they don't even plug the device into the wall. There is a minimum level I expect out of people, and it's not a level of skill. It's just a level of general intelligence. And I realize that's not something that a lot of people can meet, but they manage to somehow figure out how to press keys on a keyboard to turn them into words, even if they are misspelled. And they somehow figured out how to get to the website fanfiction.net. Holy fuck, did you guys hear that?
No.
Well,
Jesus Christ! My entire room just flashbanged and thunder ripped out within the second.
Any
nice.
such cases.
So, they've clearly passed the levels of minimum competency. They've managed to figure out how to open up a Word document, put the words into it, go to the website fanfiction.net, and then create a chapter, put a summary into the chapter, and then post the chapter. They managed to figure out all of these hurdles. The least they could do before posting the story they've conjured up in their head is making sure that people can even read it.
Yeah.
Because they've managed to do everything else up until that point.
But spelling is hard, Sneaky.
No, I'm not talking about spelling sign, but I mean, yeah, just run a fucking spell checker. I'm not talking about spelling. I'm talking about things like that one story where there's a Naruto Ruby Cross where Naruto was 100 gazillion years old and he ended up in Ruby somehow, and he was looking out at the sunset while he put his clothes on. At the same time, he had two more arms reading a book in front of him, and then he had two more arms doing jutsu, except actually
two more
he
arms dressing
yeah,
himself.
yeah, and but the thing is that the author didn't say he had 6 arms or was using some sort of like mystical extra arm jutsu or anything. The author just lost track of what he had Naruto doing with his arms in the same paragraph 3 times.
Oof.
Like that's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about your ability to weave words into a mystical story. I'm talking about your ability to just have Naruto walk in a straight line and you remembering that you had him walk in a straight line in the last sentence, so you don't then say that Naruto was actually walking diagonally on his hands, and then the next sentence say that Naruto was actually hopping backwards.
Sneaky, that's hard.
Yeah, I'm aware, as we've sort of seen on this fucking podcast, and that's my point, though, is that a lot of the stories in this podcast, yes, they come out of an arena of the author's own hubris, but the author is actually just delusional. The authors of these stories have no idea what they're doing, and they dump tens to hundreds of hours, as we've seen on some of these stories, on the most senseless, nonsensical writing possible, of absolute gibberish being poured onto a page. Not even like they were trying to fix the setting, which they were trying to fix the setting, but the problem is that they never actually got to the part where they started trying to fix the setting. They just kept on adding weird shit. And, you know, we end up with that one fucking story where the character has an entire 20k word chapter dedicated to just telling you all of the powers he had now.
Ruby.
Like,
yeah.
How do you...
The list of lists.
How do you spend tens of hours, hundreds of hours maybe even,
On a fucking character sheet.
On a character sheet. How do you do this? How do you spend hundreds of hours on a story over the span of years, and at no point cotton on to the fact that maybe you're doing it wrong. Like, I've played Dota for 65,000 hours, and don't get 6,500 hours. I've played Dota for a very long time, and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying I'm an expert at playing Dota. I very much know what my problems are in Dota, though. I've played long enough to know exactly where I fail at playing Dota. That doesn't mean I can get better at those areas. Let me be clear there as well. Just because I know what my problems are doesn't mean I know how to improve them or get better at them, or that I want to spend the time and dedication it takes to do that.
Well, I would
But
say,
I at least
that's the
know
thing,
what my
right?
problems are.
Right? Sneaky is bad at farming. Could he get better at farming? Yeah. Would that take a lot of time and effort and energy to improve his current farming patterns? Yeah. Does he need to? No, because he's just fucking around.
Yeah.
Sneaky doesn't want to be Dendy. He doesn't want to be Fear.
Yeah, I don't want to calculate the optimal farming path so I can get the most farm, judging based off of the respawn timer versus incoming wave and whatever cooldowns I have, and possibly see if I can't somehow fit a gank in there. Like, that's too much for me. If I see the ability to gank, I want to gank. If I have the ability to farm at the moment, I do it. And does it usually work out for me?
Sometimes.
Sometimes, but again, I don't advertise myself as a good Dota player. I play Dota, but I'm not a good Dota player. And I don't advertise myself as one. I don't go onto forums and talk about how much hours of Dota I play, and therefore I know best about these things. Because frankly, I apparently I don't. But I think that's the difference between me putting 6,000 hours into something and some of these authors putting 6,000 hours into something. I mean, if you guys remember, cast your memories back, I was at 4 or 5 years now, that one author we found who had been writing for 12 years, had written over 13 million words of story, and actually hadn't improved a single bit since they started writing. Their grammar and spelling and ability to tell the story was just as bad as when they started. 10 million words later. 12 years later. And they didn't improve a single bit. And it's because these people are delusional. There is no learning for them. They are lost in their own world where what they're writing is perfect. And everything in the story exists to support whatever claims they make, even when that part of the story doesn't even exist. They just make up. Like, if you've ever talked with these sorts of people, they will literally just make shit up. And it takes hours of you confronting them on it for them to finally admit that what they've been defending for the past 3 hours was headcanon. And I get things wrong
if you lay
too.
that out right from the beginning, that's fine. But
Yeah, exactly. But, you know, like, and I get things wrong too, and I'm very sure of myself at times too. And Max and I have gone back and forth over a lot of things before, and he finally is like, "Here, Sneaky, here's the fucking source. You're wrong." And I'd be like, "Oh, my bad. I guess I just thought of something else then." And that's it. I leave it. I let it rest. I don't sit there fucking whine, scream, and pout that I'm really sure that I saw one post 18 years ago from the author's mother talking about how my headcanon's right. But I can't find that post. But it was there.
I promise.
And like I have heard some of the most delusional. Because I used to, back in the day, I used to sit in DMs with these people. You've seen my DM page before. I had pages. I had pages of different authors in my DMs that I would talk with them about their stories. They are fucking delusional. They invent lore that doesn't exist to justify their headcanon, that they refuse to admit is headcanon. The age of the fan doesn't exist anymore for fan fiction. It still exists with fan art, and it will probably exist for a long time to come, because fan art is one-shots, effectively.
Also because of all the porn.
Well, I mean, yes, but it's fan art is you create a picture and it's done. It's a finished work, and then you post it. Now, I mean, yes,
and everybody
there
goes,
are
"Oh my
people-
god, I love it!"
Right, exactly. But I mean, obviously, there are people out there that do post like in their in-progress stuff. But what I mean though is that there is no updating this picture over the course of 5 years to reach your narrative perfection. It is a single picture depicting a single action being done.
Mm.
And that's it. And that's all it'll ever be. You're not going to come back a year later and make the V2 version of it. Now, you might make a sequel picture of it, but it's a sequel picture. It's not an update edit to the already existing picture. And because
I mean, you
each
might
of
come
these...
back and touch it up.
I mean, but there's a difference though. They're not changing the scene of the picture. You know, they're not having the V1 picture be
No, they're not making that
Samus
big a
shooting
change.
something, and then the V2 of the picture be Samus jumping over someone. It'll
No,
still
they're
be
usually
Samus
just coming back with new techniques, new effects, and things like that.
Right, exactly. That's what my point is, though. It's like it's not changing the premise of the event happening in the picture, whatever that event is. It's just making it prettier. And unlike fan fiction, fan art is one and done. You post it, and everyone makes their commentary on it with the complete work in front of them. And when people go out and do their crap of like, this is my black Samus, fat, disabled OC, self-insert, no hate please, they get ridiculed out. They retreat back to their tiny little niche corner of delusion. Because because people don't tolerate art, because it's a very different thing. The visual medium is a very different thing to the written medium. Because to a lot of people, the visual medium, it's immediate. It is the picture in front of you. That is everything. You don't need to read line after line after line and compare one character's behavior in the story to how they might have acted in canon and find sources. No, everything is right in front of you. Everything that could possibly be in the picture is right there in the picture. There's no extra
it's kind of
pages.
self-evident. You can look at it and go, "That's ugly."
Exactly. It doesn't take you reading 5,000 words to realize that the author just made some bullshit up about how wands work in Harry Potter. It would be, I mean, even then, that sort of shit couldn't even happen in the picture because there would just be a character waving a wand around. Like the hole you can dig as an artist versus the hole you can dig as a writer are vastly different in the time and ability. Everyone will be immediately able to recognize a hole has been dug when you're an artist. When you're a writer, people will look at you and go, "Oh, he's just he's replanting the tree. He's actually he's digging a moat. Oh, he's digging really deep. Oh, he must be digging the foundation out for the building he's making." Oh, he's just still digging. Oh, actually, that's just a giant hole. Oh, he's just digging a really deep hole. Oh,
That he can't get himself out of.
yeah. But it took a long time to get to that point where you go, oh, he's actually just digging a really deep. He's not actually doing anything with the hole. He's just digging a hole. And now, to some people, they just want to see the hole be dug, which is fair. But you know, it's not a lot of people. It's not, you know. But a lot of these fanfiction authors are just delusional, and it really makes it hard to read fanfiction. You know, even if you go back in the day to the first year we were reading fanfiction, we got distracted often, yeah. But the stories we were reading, they were awful in a bombastic way, I guess is the best way to put it. And yet you had your fair share of duds, but they were the awful stories were genuinely just like off the wall, delusional, batshit insane, crazy stuff of like Naruto time traveling back in time with living parents and him being the only son, and he has 3 sisters, and one got the body and one got the mind and one got the corpse,
the soul.
and he got like the extracted soul, what was left, and then that somehow granted him a stronger power than the rest of them, but he got discriminated against and beat up and abused by his parents because he was the useless child, and then he runs away and becomes super powerful because he used the soul power of the Kyuubi to unlock some secret ability, and then he comes back to Konoha, and he's so panties dropping hot and cool that his mother and sisters both decide incest is wincest. And
Yep.
it's just some
Make up for how they treated him.
Delusional batshit, right? But it
Mm.
was funny to read. It was funny to make fun of. And the claims the authors would make in the stories were funny. But these days, it's all just so bland. It's just so boring. It's just... There's nothing.
Zoomer trash.
Yeah, actually.
It's yeah.
Because it's like... Oh, Iruka decides to adopt Naruto, and for some reason Anko's also here, question mark.
Mhm.
Okay.
Why? I don't want to say why. I have to come up. They don't want to come up with why.
Well, it's not even just why. It's just like, and? Okay, so what does that do? How does this change the story of Naruto? Because, like, this isn't going to change the story of Naruto in a way that's going to make the story of Naruto go faster or solve any of the problems in it. It's like, oh, okay, so Naruto's going to have a more stable childhood, and he'll have a better foundation to be a better ninja in the years to come.
No.
And that will do what? That'll make his canon fights easier? His canon fights that are still all gonna happen in their canon order because nothing actually changes from Naruto just being mildly more competent, except he'll have to stress for less period of time when fighting people? Yeah,
it's hard to butterfly that.
Mm.
Well, it's not hard to butterfly it. What it is hard to do is it's hard to make the butterfly actually affect anything in canon.
Mm.
Have I seen the fic A Better Sonnen? I have not. Let me pull that up here. We'll see if this even comes up. So got updated recently. Listed characters: Naruto, Sasuke, Sakura, Orochimaru. 65k words. 8 chapters. I mean, it's got a decent chapter to word ratio over the course of the past year. It's got a decent update, right? Okay. Orochimaru made a decision upon meeting Team 7. He would take in these 3 idiots and turn them into world beaters. Why?
That's
Yes.
a decision.
Yeah, it is a
But
decision.
it's not a decision Orochimaru would make.
No. Under his tutelage,
No.
they become legends. No one, not even the Akatsuki, would be able to hold a candle to them. Why would he think that of Sakura? With the Sage of 6 Paths as his witness, Orochimaru would create the next Sannin, a better Sannin. Fuck you, Sarutobi. Yes, if you want to have like an abridged Orochimaru, be like, fuck you, Sarutobi, I'm gonna make a better Konoha with blackjack and hookers. If you want to read a comedy
how
story,
you do it.
well, I mean, if you want to read a comedy story, I mean, fine, sure, yeah. I mean, that the comedy does get away with a lot more wiggle room because you're specifically supposed to be making fun of things. So characters acting out of character to make fun of things is fine in a comedy, because that is the comedy genre, not comedy in a story, which is massively different, which again, another thing that a lot of people seem to not understand, especially you Marvel writers, is that the comedy genre is different from having comedy occur in your story.
But I told you it was funny, so you have to laugh at it.
Sorry, I was blowing my nose. So, yes, this is a humor story, which means it's going to be not at the level of parody, but it is going to be less grounded. Specifically, so it can make fun of things. Again, not as much as a parody, because a parody is a separate genre. Specifically, it's the difference between, like, Monty Python and the Holy Grail, which in its own right is a parody of, you know, the Holy Grail story, but it's a comedy, while Spam-A-Lot is a parody of Monty Python and the Holy Grail, where it's specifically making fun of Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Hey guys, I've been offered a Honda Accord. Should I accept, or do you think it's a lemon?
What?
It's from this chick called Melina.
the
She's offering me a
Accord.
Honda.
Shut up.
This chick named Melina's offering me a Honda Accord. Do you think I should accept, or you guys think it's a lemon?
Accept
I
the
think
Accord.
you need to shut
I'm
up.
sending you the pipe bomb.
Alright, for once I took science advice. I feel like it's a mistake, but...
Is the mistake in continuing to speak? Because we can fix that mistake very quickly.
I know you can, and I know you would.
Thoughts on this ad? Call of the Gods. Author. Suffer. Wahaha. MC. I won't give up. Already cringe. Fantasy progression. Cool weapons and a gunblade. Okay, I hate it. That's my thoughts on it. I'm sorry, if you are writing a story and a selling point in your mind of your story is that you're telling a story, that's a lot like someone saying I am the table.
Oh.
Yeah. So I generally just hate anything that tries to advertise itself as being a progressive novel. And I don't mean politically, I just mean, hey guys, did you know characters change in our story? Yeah, they're kind of supposed to.
Yeah, I thought they were going to be
Well-
wooden caricatures all day.
Okay, so sometimes you might want to advertise that, if only because nobody else fucking understands it.
Yes, sure, I understand that angle, but then they follow it up with cool weapons and gunblade and suffer bwahaha.
Yeah, that's just failing.
That's not the sort of person that's aware that progression should be intrinsic to a story. That's the sort of person who thinks advertising that you have progression occurring in your story being some sort of like trend breaker. I'm
Yeah.
different. My characters change. Okay, buddy. Writing Naruto fanfiction these days is kind of suspicious. The overhyped brain rot fandom now is Jujutsu Kaisen. Worm is a bad offender because people can't make it past Leviathan ever. True. Note, this character acts like a retard at all times. True. The next Song of Ice and Fire book will have a rant about a man that seems suspiciously like Trump. Probably.
Obviously, always. Okay, signs eating dick according to Killionaire. Eat shit. I was looking at my phone.
Autism, extreme autism, that makes you incapable of social interaction. Yeah. I mean, okay, this is again, I understand that people have different forms of autism. I get it. And I get that some people aren't self-aware enough to realize they have autism in the first place. I still feel like it's not an excuse. And we've had this debate before, but I still feel like it's not an excuse. You know, if you have really bad BO, then you don't get to use that as an
Take a fucking
excuse as to
bath.
why you smell all the time. Well, I mean, no, there is genuinely people out there that just have naturally bad BO, and that if they go 3 hours without taking a bath, they smell bad. But if that's the case, then you need to be aware, and you need to structure the clothes you wear and the deodorant you wear. You need to make efforts
Maybe
on
change your
your
diet.
end. Yes, exactly. But that's my point, though. Is they need to make efforts on their end to mitigate or change things.
But Sneaky, that would inconvenience them and make them feel bad, so you have to accommodate them.
Yeah, no.
That's stink
Did
shaming.
I just walk back into?
We're talking about the age-old opinion of mine, in that while I acknowledge that people have different mental abilities when it comes to people with autism and their ability to understand that they have autism, I still stand by my original opinion that it doesn't excuse you using autism as a excuse to not try to have social awareness or capability.
I mean, I did, and I'm a team leader now because even if I got almost fired a few times for being a social retard, but I tried and I helped.
Yeah, well, and that's my sort of my point is that
Yeah, you
I
just
was
gotta try.
really
There's
bad.
no point.
Yeah, I was really bad as a fucking teenager. I was really fucking bad. And then I got my head out of my ass and realized that I would have to change things about myself if I was going to be able to hold an extended conversation with anyone and get a job from it. So I did that.
And
In a
it's
couple
that easy.
tries, and there are certain things I won't be flexible on, but I still put effort and time in, so now you can actually hold a conversation with me where I don't try to change it 24/7 to about whatever I'm interested in. Now, the problem is that most people refuse to change. You are correct. I mean, this goes for everything, and this goes beyond just writing, but yes, the problem is that people do refuse to change because they don't want to change. Yes.
Or because they don't believe they're wrong.
Well, yes, that's sort of my feeds into the original. They don't want to change, so they don't look for change. And if they do find change, they'll come up with excuses that it doesn't need to happen. And that we shouldn't accept that sort of thing. It's like, I'm sorry, I understand that you think differently from everyone around you, and you don't quite get the social intricacies that everyone else gets because either you're, autistic, or because you just had a bad childhood and you didn't quite grow up in a good environment to understand that sort of thing. It doesn't, however, excuse you. Just means I understand.
Yeah, listen, when I was a young guy in high school, I was not the most socially aware person. I wasn't the best conversationalist, and at one point, it took my friends sitting me down and telling me to quit being a stupid fucking idiot. And guess what? That was a conversation that was really good for me. A lot of people in this life need friends who are willing to call them a stupid fucking idiot.
Yes. Yes. But no, a lot of people these days, especially these days, I should say, because I mean, it's obviously been a lifelong issue for humanity. But especially these days, there's a lot of people just want to surround themselves with yes men. Especially, it's very easy to do online. You have whole cults forming around fanfiction authors. You have cults forming around fandoms where they impose their own freaky, weird headcanon, and they try to they try to effectively summon the author into their realm and then bind them with oaths to make them do the things they want them to do. Like Wild Bow and Cauldron. And a lot of people, even if they're good enough to write and publish a story that's coherent enough to be liked, are unfortunately still people, and very few people I've seen have ever been actually resistant to wide popularity. And it's like, I get it, humans, social creatures, all that fun stuff. And when I see stories that I've seen this often, I don't see it too often these days in fan fiction, simply because I don't really go out looking for fan fiction all that much anymore. I kind of just go off of recommendations these days. But I used to see it very often in fan fiction, where a story would be going in a decent direction at a decent pace, going things like, not fantastically, but good enough, right?
Decently.
And they would get a following, and then this following would effectively gaslight, gatekeep, and girl boss all over the author until the author believed that it was in their best interest to take the narrative in the direction that this fanatical portion of their cult had gone in. And they just start making these wild changes to their story that have absolutely no relation to the shit they've wrote before, and the story just goes massively downhill in a very rapid fashion because they've just been gaslit into believing that the opinions and the judgment calls of this group that has formed around them is somehow important. And is what it is, but I mean, the online environment makes it very easy for this to happen. And now, I mean, originally it sort of was a hope of mine that this podcast would get large enough one day to kind of have a counterbalancing effect on those sorts of groups. Where, like this guy with thousands of subs, hundreds of viewers, he said that we're doing things wrong, and my little cult of 5 people are saying that I'm doing it right, but thousands of people, can they really be wrong if they all support them? Yeah, I absolutely wanted to use the fucking mental contagion that they had against them. Absolutely, I wanted to use it against them, but I also didn't really care. Because at the end of the day, it's doing it for fun. They're doing it for fun. Even if they are lost in a delusion over it. Would I have liked to save the future of media? Sure. That would be fucking cool. But I'm not super invested in being the reason why media changes. So instead I will leave everyone on the phrase, stories will continue to get worse until morale's improved. Because there's always, and it will